says, now it's live, it says.
We are
So I
live.
guess it's live.
That's funny if you remembered me.
Oh,
That
dude,
weird
everyone
timer.
that's in here I remember. There's a dude from Alaska, and then there's the Haritsu guy. He's easy to remember because I see his comments on Instagram, or oh no, YouTube. Yeah, Instagram. Hey, what's funny is I did what you suggested. That's how we're doing this. That's why I'm in here twice. Is I went on my other account and emailed the link to myself and clicked it on my phone.
Word. Hell yeah. That's what's up.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I still haven't taken a dab today.
I'm too deep, bro.
That's what I look like sober.
Gotta get on my level.
You're too deep? Oh, shit. You're getting ahead of me. I have headphones if I ever echo, so let me know if I'm echoing and I can throw them on.
Yeah, let me know too. I can always mute myself.
Yeah, you're not echoing at all. Yo, ooh, let's see. We got Jonah. And he's got some heady glass.
Go into their house and just like lay them on those like that, they would be destroyed, man. Dogs are like 150 pounds each. We got like 3 of them. And I would love to see it.
I got the Blue River purple Hindu turtle the other day.
Oh man. What flavor was that? Blue River?
Purple Hindu.
I haven't tried that one.
It's worth $100, but it's cool.
I did the.
Smell it.
I personally had the Jack Frost, and that shit was banging. I've also tried like probably like 6 or 7 other ones. Cherry Kush was really good, or Cherry AK rather. A lot of them really was like very similar to each other, like almost like if I've had a lot of live resins from people that are very similar, kind of in the same profiles, but like different names. But the Jack and the Cherry AK I thought were really, really prominent for what they were.
Yeah,
How many milliliters for how much money? Or how many point milliliters?
Beer, yeah, I think you get a 0.2.
For $100.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's crazy, right?
Well, I know how much goes into it.
Here's the thing, right? You would think that like if you took 0.1 mils terps and you added a gram of oil, you'd have like a 10% terpene rich oil if the oil was pretty low on no terps left, right? And you add, but Shatter with 10% terps, and then I've tried Shatter with like a fraction of 0.1, and it's completely like the fraction of the 0.1 terps added to your fucking gram is still so much more prominent than 10% terps of Shatter. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I just rather go with Rosin. I'd rather.
Hey Nick, are you gonna be able to go on cam, or if you want to watch? Actually, you have it in the chat. I'm gonna mute you because it's coming up your. Okay, 1 second. There, I was getting a bad echo. I know it takes like 100 grams. When I had about 60 grams, and it made me less than a half a milliliter of oil. 60 grams of oil, and I got less than that. But that was in a roto vat. I'm sure I vaped away twice as much through my pump.
Here's what I don't believe they're doing anything like that. What he's doing is they're doing lots of rosin, and so if you take a rosin sample, for example, and you cold distill it by introducing a shit ton of nitrogen to avoid any headspace in your oven, and you get a really high back at a low temp, you can distill those terps off with very little degradation to them. And because you extracted it via rosin, there's no solvents, hydrocarbons, or water that can end up landing in a cold trap. So I'm pretty sure that's the method.
Does it smell kind of rosiny, the terps? Oh, that's pretty
No,
good.
they smell like
Rosin.
straight
I think
Raw.
flower.
I think um you'd be surprised. The rosin I've made at 200 degrees, at like 9 seconds, like, there's no rosin taste, especially when you're using flour, and that's still pull 20% yields. So, I mean, you can achieve an amazing terpene-rich rosin with no burnt rosin taste. That's
Yeah.
possible. And flour is really the only way, in my opinion, because if you use dry sift, unless you're using some 6-star dry sift or some like 6-star bubble, there's always like this hashiness to it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like doing press-in bubble hash at all or keef. It just tastes nasty. I only
It
add
just
a,
tastes like fucking hash.
yeah, it's not that good. I'd rather press my flowers.
It's that hashing.
What I hate is when the rosin made from 2-star hash or 1-star sift is priced the same as rosin made from $2,800 a pound weed.
Yeah.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. Like I can't smoke rosin. I can't smoke bubble or dry sift unless it's like really the best of the best, because the contaminants, it's like if bubble's not 6-star, it's almost like having a contaminated BHO to me, because just a tad bit of contaminant is way more than 500 parts per million. It's like fucking, it's huge. You can see it. You can visually see the contaminant, and that shit is going to come through on your palate way more than 500 parts per million of butane or something.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just me. I'm super picky. You know it.
Yeah, I think most everyone in this chat is like that.
Yeah.
What up,
Boy,
We're evolving as a species.
only the best.
Oh shit, what's up, Bret Maverick? What's up? I think he busy here.
Yep, that's me. I'm here.
I hear Big Dan.
What's up?
What's up?
Never met Bret Maverick. I've never met Eric Tarisu. Never met CJ.
The red suit.
What am I talking to?
Magnet.
Is this,
In the magnet rowdy.
oh, what? Dude, hey, I just noticed in my email, I finally logged back in this email, and I noticed you've been inviting me to hangouts. That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah. I've been trying to come in contact.
Oh, it lagged out on me. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm like just waking up right now and go, please.
Anyone else know what he said?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I remember what I was gonna do. I got up to look for something.
Megatoid Rowdy's in here. That's a fucking trip.
Oh yeah. Who else do you want? I'll send an invite. Name it. We'll get him in here. No.
Dude, I just would be surprised. There's you. Gosh, all the people you know that are on YouTube that I watch to make our kind of videos.
Yeah.
It's always a trip whenever there's one that I'm watching. I don't expect them to know who the hell I am. I find out they know who I am. That's a trip.
Yeah. That's cool.
I'm gonna check out some of these comments. We got 27 viewers because I'm on my other channel, which is cool.
Competing with
When I had it
hashtag.
on my main channel, it was kind of polluting my regular videos. Oh, 1 second. Lunch is here.
Always.
Hear the chow barking.
So what's everybody dabbing on?
We got some black cherry soda over here.
Some great
Got
fruit
some
kush.
5 and 6-star rosin cookies and cream.
Fuck yeah.
Had a little bit of strawberry kush as well.
Nice.
I think that's all gone.
Don't
Ash while it's empty. Still got some other stuff though.
Got some Primus over here from Craft 710 and Pig and Whistle, I think. And
Oh man, some of that Colorado stuff.
Yep.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
See if I can get me set up a little better.
I got the diamond knot here, the quartz.
Oh, word. How you like those?
Oh, I like it pretty good. It works pretty well. I like it.
Yeah. I like that you don't have to use the cap, really. Just go about it.
And do you find yourself being able to take like low temp dabs pretty efficiently with that, or without the cap?
I feel like it's halfway there. Like you gotta find that sweet spot, you know. You just gotta up the temp a little tiny bit and sacrifice, but definitely you can get it done.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some low temps on it.
Yeah.
You know it's the pizza.
Brett's got some pizza terps.
Dude, this place is the shit.
Yo, Brett, have you
I
ever
found them.
East Coast?
Oh yeah, Louis.
Yeah, we started that.
Two slices. 2 slices in a 24-ounce drink for $4.
Wow.
That's the deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good.
Do they deliver $4 orders?
Oh, and they delivered.
No, you gotta go in the store for that though.
Damn.
Up only on that one.
I'm gonna hit him up about getting sponsored because Pizza Hut wouldn't fuck with me. Oh, the QWERTY. I guess I can't read the comments like in the chat like I was before. Maybe if I log out.
Maple bacon Pop Tarts!
Oh yeah. Get it glowing a little. Just a little. We hit the Toro.
It's super windy out. I gotta go lock my screen door because these dogs are freaking out about it.
Oh.
Money bag, money bag, money bags.
Isn't that right?
Cheers, y'all. Yeah, cheers.
How you look. Oh.
It's so windy outside right now.
Yeah, it's crazy out right now, man. Listen. My front yard is literally a lake right now. Full of water.
Shit.
So, Brett, we went all passive now. We don't run pumps. And after doing our going passive and running dual tanks, like Tammy/Busy setup, I can't see why people fuck. Honestly, it blows my fucking mind.
Yeah. I'm about to get a pump because, dude, when I went from the V2 Sweet Leaf to the V3 that's all super thick stainless, I don't get as good of a conductivity of
Bro.
cold like I used to with my thinner tanks. So
Dude, we're hitting
But
like we can recover like 13 pounds of tane in like or 70-30 in under 25 minutes.
Nice.
that's pretty damn nice.
So we can run literally 2 pounds in like from injection to recover, not counting a dewaxing, in like fucking 30 minutes, easy.
God damn. I wonder why it doesn't let me see the chat on the side like it used to. Oh well. Don't need it anyway.
But we don't run like traditional sweet leaf, but we do like something similar to you where we pull it in through the dip tube. But the first, it's dual tank setup. One tank is set up as like, all right, so both tanks are full back, right? And you have a second tank that's hooked up on a serial connection, vapor to vapor, right? And so the second that's on the end is so cold and everything's getting condensed going through the dip tube in the first tank as if it's like a cold trap. So your first tank is literally a cold trap. It traps all your liquid, solvent, and the second tank is just sitting at negative 28 H fucking mercury the entire time, pulling a vac on your system. So you can have your third tank injecting at 0 psi because you have two tanks at a full vac, fucking ripping your warm system, your system. So it's all around like it shits on a pump.
Dude, that's what I was doing a while ago. Once I had both systems, I'd recover into one tank. I didn't have them daisy chained together like you were saying, but that's smart. I didn't think of that. But I would recover everything till I got to about maybe an inch of oil butane soup at the bottom. Then take my other recovery tank, rip a vac on that. Or if it had tane in it, I just put it in dry ice and it could go to a vacuum. Then I plug that to it and open the valves, and it would like do a pre-purge. It would rip that last bit of tane out, and then all of a sudden I'd just get this muffin in there. They'd just be all violent as hell, and then it'd stop. It wouldn't be like PHO, but it would still be kind of like in my one old honeycomb video when I took it out and it was like this standing foam, kind of like that.
Oh
but,
man.
That shit ain't good for making shatter.
All I know is that switching to passive, it's much harder to get pour outs because like it recovers so fast, and we don't have to worry about pulling vacuums on the pumps. That like we recover down to negative 15, negative 20, and at that point, it's like on a stable batch, you're fucked.
Right. One thing I learned, you know how I was recovering the butane out of the weed tube? I closed the valve and then recover the butane out of that.
Our shit's set up that we can do that too.
So what I found is because I started using a heat gun on the column to vaporize the last bit of butane out because it started getting cold, and because like if I don't, like let's say I open the valve to recover and I'm recovering into my dip tube into my recovery tank that's in dry ice, the whole column freezes up like solid with frost on the outside. So once I heat it up to melt that, what ends up happening is I start to vaporize water out of my weed, my like 2% to 4% H2O that gets into my tank, so I don't have no molecular sieve beads.
Yeah, we got one.
You have them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I started getting ice. I look at my sight glass on my tank, and there'd be ice in there, and sometimes it'd go up my dip tube and get stuck in that swage lock valve, and it sucked.
Yo, yeah, I've actually had before we had a molecular sieve, and it was a situation where I'm supposed to be recovering, and I don't hear shit happening in the tank, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm shaking the tank, it's fucking freezing, and I'm like, there's no way this 35 PSI system is not fucking pushing anything. I'm like opening and closing valves, like what the fuck is going on? I literally, it forced me to, since we have two tanks in serial and the other tank is, just swap over to the liquid fucking valve on the other tank. And We pulled it back, fucking opened it up, boom, fucking recovered. It was because there was ice fucking blocking the dip tube in the tank. It's fucked.
That's, yeah, dude.
We didn't have a second tank and able to just retro swap that over. We'd been like shit sitting there fucking like, okay, what do we do?
Right. Now I'm steady with the heat gun to hit it on valves and like places that it can get stuck in. But what I was gonna say, now that I've got the bigger tank that I don't like, let's say I'm only using like 6 or 5 pounds of butane, but I've got like 8 or 10 in there, you know. So I can't put back on it if I haven't emptied it for the run, but just cooling it down gets it to a full vacuum. Like, let's say there's still like this much cane in there, putting that in dry ice brings the tank to a full vacuum too, which is sick. But anytime it's completely empty, I rip it back on it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we got our shit now fucking completely. I've literally designed it from the ground up, rack mounted, bottom, top. It does both bottom and top floods. So we run a bottom flood for like half of the flood, and then I'll swap over to the top down for the last flood to push everything out, and then you can also recover through the top, and then at the end we also have everything manifolded so that we can take any of the remaining solvent in the injection tank and route it straight to the one tank that's on dry ice that's recovering, so that way we can just consolidate all into one tank without having to do this, that, and the other, and then boom, you're ready to go in the next run right at the end.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're the person that told me what the hell them MK3s, what, you know, the ones with the, like, kind of like the one you had at the time where it had the for
bottom up with the return line.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Ours is like a combination of Busy Bee meets an MK3 with bi-directional flow and with the ability of doing. I mean, we've done like 20-pound runs without opening up the collection pot, and you know everything was good. So I mean, it was so much. You can do so much. We've had like 1,000-gram pour-offs. It's ridiculous.
That's awesome, and you're getting it all homogenous.
Yeah, all modular too. So like I can add new stuff to it, and the best part about it is like, I mean, as far as dewaxing chambers go, like I've rethought that entire process. It's not even worth doing an inline process, because if you're doing like 20 pounds of the same strain, which is very likely to happen in a commercial environment, you know, you're not going to want to do an inline process, especially because you don't have the control over the saturation amount of the solvent. And if you have too less of a saturation or you have too much of a saturation, not only are lipids going to be precipitating out of your solution, but be also less likely to be soluble in the solvent, which is going to be pretty much THCA, being that it's so stable. And you know, the less likely would be your THC, CBD, and you know the other less pure compounds in your solution. So the best way to do a dewaxing is to take a specific variable, like, okay, I'm taking 100 grams of oil. Then you want to dilute that in a specific amount of solvent that is, you know, you have dialed in, so that you know that it's exactly saturated to this point, and that you can then let it freeze for this long at this temperature to precipitate only your lipids out, and you can do it at large batches and at your own leisure, and you can do 1,000 grams at a time if you want to do that, but you use that same the same variables, so you have it dialed in, so that you're not losing anything, but you're also doing it at a more efficient rate, because you can process 100 pounds in a day, and then the next day fucking do the dewaxing while you're still processing more shit.
Right, that makes total sense, because you don't know how much weight of oil is coming out of the weed when it's still in the butane.
Exactly. So now you have this mixture of blank amount of pounds of butane to whatever, who knows how much fucking oil's in there. So now if you have, you know, a really high saturated fucking oil, like a huge yield and a little amount of butane in that dewaxing chamber, you're going to lose so much cannabinoids in your yield because you're concentrating out those cannabinoids. Like, and that's why a lot of these, like the crystallizations that you're seeing, I don't know about field extracts, but a lot of people, not a lot, if you go on IC Mag, you can see this one guy, Pangea, I think, his method of crystallization was simply just pouring out your butane into like a fucking flask and then throwing like some cellophane over it so that it can breathe but like not be sealed. And like over a course of 2 weeks, because of the viscosity and the terpenes that allow the supersaturated solution to start precipitating out crystals and letting it lattice, it's pretty much, it's so fucking simple how the shit happens. But then you take that same like logic and you apply it to the dewaxing chamber, because you're pretty much, it's all crystallization. And so you have to like think, how can I make it the most efficient possible? And what are we doing? What's happening? Instead of just applying like a stoner logic to it. Like, oh yeah, you just make it really cold for a really long time and then you fucking filter it. Done. No. there is some science to it.
You see the people's yellow crystal. Oh, there's T-Rex. Talk about someone. See, remember I was saying? See, it's awesome when people come in. That's like that. That's one person I was talking about. T-Rex.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. What's up, T-Rex?
You can take those crystals and then you can redissolve them and then grow larger crystals from them. Those yellow.
That makes sense.
And that's how you get a higher purity. It's all recrystallization.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything because it's just someone talking, but I mean, a lot of people just say stuff. But you know how when we used to like open blast and dewax, like with the butanes evaporating and shit. So I don't know if someone put it in their chest freezer or their regular freezer, but put the butane oil solution in their freezer with nothing over the top of it. And when it got down to like butane soup oil, there was all these crystals on top.
That was THCA. Primarily, probably in the 96% range.
Dude, it actually tested 98 something. And this is over a year ago.
Yeah.
And now, dude, but it's so weird because the way everything's forming, it looks like any drug that you make that it falls out of a solution.
Well, yeah,
it looks like
salting it out of a solution pretty much.
Yeah, dude. So I was tripping, thinking. I almost said tweaking because I'm thinking of meth. But I said, dude, because I'm thinking there was like a pH change or something that made it no longer soluble in there. But I didn't know. All I know is.
Hey. I didn't know it really until you start like I urge you look into crystallization, because like once you understand that, it's like all these terms we use, nucleation and everything, and what causes nucleation. Fucking, it's like what the fuck? Like you really want to hit people in the head. Like what? Like we're spreading these words, but we don't really. It's so simple. People are like, what is it? Water? Is it? Dude, anything can cause nucleation. Like that's the fact of life.
Dude, yeah. In school, we made these blue crystals on a string that we hung in this liquid, and you had to have a tiny crystal, and it'd start attaching to it, and it'd work in a chain, kind of like you were saying. But I crushed some up. I was like a class clown. I crushed some up and snorted it. Dude, that shit burned so hard. My eye was watering. I didn't even do that much. Then this fucking juggalo kid was like, oh, I'm going to show off. He snorts a lot, like a real line worth. So I don't know what weight that is, but dude, he had to go to the hospital. They had him in a wheelchair. They wheeled him out. Dude, it was so bad. And I'm just like spitting out. It smelled like or tasted like I had these like crazy chemical drips. The teacher was so mad at us.
Somebody lost their job for that.
You don't necessarily expect kids, I don't know what age you were at, but like to just start snorting whatever you give them. But you should expect that, but she probably wasn't.
Well, maybe in the ghetto area they should expect. I don't know.
Yeah, we were snorting pixie sticks and I snorted Miracle Grow. I got in trouble for that too.
I was at I was in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, maybe like 2007, 8 or something, and I was with a bunch of friends. Dude, this guy was at a bar and he had this orange shit. I kid you not, he had some orange shit. Said it was some legal drug that he was bringing out on the market, or that was like totally legal and shit, and he was giving it to all my friends. I'm like, yo, you gotta try it. I'm like, I ain't trying that shit. They're like, it tastes just like Tang. I'm like, what the fuck?
Your friends got exposed to some research chemicals.
Yeah. I'm like, I ain't fucking with that shit, dude. I don't take no fucking random powder some stranger at a bar in New Orleans to fucking sober me. Like,
It's some new drug. Oh god.
Yeah, fucking, I don't know if you guys know NoFX, but they're a band and they toured in Japan. There's a documentary, they're in a hotel room, and someone gave them this green powder, because it's really, like, the drugs are different there. I guess it's not, like, as easy to just find, like, what you're looking for if you come from America, if you're going to Japan. So anyway, they got this stuff called, like, Green Monster or something like that, or like the Green Dragon, and they just go fucking crazy. And it's, like, an actual, like, you know, like camcorder shot, like, documentary, so it's not, like, some, you know, like, done up bullshit, and it's like, why would people do that? Kind of reminded me of your friends just being like, oh, you got to try this shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
But how far is that from?
I know that when I was older though. I was in my 20s at that point, you know, I think, and like back at I know I was in my 20s, but like when I was younger, if the research chemicals and stuff were out, I'd probably been fucking doing that shit, and that's where I'm like, damn, for kids these days, it's like, they don't know better. And, like, for me, I know I'm not doing some shit nobody's done before, you know? I'm not going to be a guinea pig on some fucking crazy drug out of China, you know?
No, I mean, we're guinea pigs to the extract artists that are around us if we're in unregulated markets.
Well, I personally don't really, you know, purchase stuff from extract artists and places around me. You know, I know that I focus on, you know, high quality stuff. I mean, I smoke somebody's extracts that, you know, they made or something, like, you know, do a dab. I'm not regularly smoking unregulated or shitty fucking extracts that I can't trust.
No, of course.
Yeah, sandwich artists are kind of, you know.
I don't condone the word extract artist. I think that if you use the term artist, you're gonna get laughed at, because that's just the nature of the game. Nobody takes an artist seriously unless they're fucking revered and people are calling them the artist. You don't call yourself the artist. You let your work talk for you. If it sells at a high rate, you know, people fucking buy that shit out and they look for you, then all right, you know, then I'll consider that. And they call you an artist, that's cool.
I mean, you know,
An artisan.
There's people.
I hate it as a job title. When you see people use it as their job title, and it reminds me of the sandwich artist from Subway.
Oh yeah.
That's totally what it looks like. But
Totally.
Frank 151 put that as my occupation, extract artist. Like I fucking said that.
I mean, you can say you're a crystallization artist, because that's really an art. Like when you grow really large crystals and shit, like even like chemists will say like that's not even really chemistry. I mean, there's chemistry happening, but it's really an art. Like once you get past the introduction level and you start growing like serious crystals.
Yeah, you don't have too much control over. Well, though, I mean, you can control what it is, but not how it's going to shape or look.
Right. They say a lot of the best crystallization chemists like are fucking ones with like beards and like poorly kept, because like it's like the shit that is being carried on your beard or hair. Anything that could fall into that solution is going to act as a nucleus, nucleation point, and that is exactly what you're aiming for crystals to form. Some labs end up not being able to, like, even in the cleanest and best environments, not being able to replicate the same type of crystal formation as another lab. And sometimes the lab, the technician will come from that lab to go fuck with their shit to try to get theirs on point and bring something back from their lab and fuck their entire set up. So, I mean, there's, like, so many different, like, you don't even know what could cause a difference in your shit that will fuck up your entire crystal formation. So, I mean,
Damn.
that is fucking art, in my opinion. You have to have a serious, clean environment. Shit's got to be, dialed in. It's hard to replicate.
As far as smoking that shit goes, I look at because it's the one we've already. There's none of the other things there that with BHO and bubble and pretty much any other concentrate that we dab, we're trying to preserve like terpenes and stuff, so that's why we avoid heat of any kind. So when it comes to dabbing a pure cannabinoid or THCA, which, like I mentioned in one of the things, if it's 100% pure THCA, only 87.77% of it is THC. So why not dab some 99 or 100% pure THC distillate that's already activated? I mean, the only time we wouldn't want to have anything activated is when we're trying to preserve volatile shit. But if we're just talking about one fucking compound, why not go to the distillate, dab that? I mean, I haven't tasted the THCA, so maybe it doesn't taste as foul as distillate made from foul material, but you can't really make too much THCA from foul material because you've actually got you wouldn't get as good of a yield as if you're running some fresher, material that make gold at soil.
And you might not be able to even yield any THCA out of that material if you're trying to do it the way that we just talked about, because if it's not saturated beyond a certain point, if it's only 30% THCA, you're not gonna precipitate out those crystals. It's not gonna form. It's not saturated enough. It has to be well beyond the supersaturation. It's got to be in the supersaturation point in order for it to crystallize, and that's what a shatter is. It's a supersaturated solution that is of terpenes. This terpenes is the solvent, and the oil is the solute that's in the solvent. And so when you have the shatter heated up to a point where they can, the molecules can actually lattice together and start crystallizing. If there's nucleation, what happens is the terpenes start evaporating, and through evaporation, you cause a greater a faster process of crystallization. And so that's what butter is pretty much. Once nucleation starts happening, you start whipping it up. It's an emulsion of microscopic crystals that's sitting inside of the, it's like trapped fucking terpene.
It's like mortar, but I totally agree with that. And one thing I wanted to say, that analogy that you said with it wasn't an analogy, it was actually true. With the terpenes being the solvent and the cannabinoids being what's dissolved in it, that's what the solute is the solute, however he says it, is the thing that you've dissolved.
Right.
That's fucking, even though there's a lot more cannabinoids than terpenes, if people look at terpenes like butane and any other fucking thing that looks almost exactly like it, it's made up of the same fucking two atoms, you go, oh, okay. And now they already make LHO open people's mind to that by going, oh yeah, so the terpenes can dissolve everything else.
Right.
And they start looking at it like a solvent.
It's literally, it is the solvent. Like the terpene profile, like, is the solvent of the batch. Like that is what is creating most any buttering and nucleation, like hands down. The evaporation and any nucleation sites that are like, if you have a waxy product, that's going to create nucleation because the wax is impurity. If you have water that's introduced, that can be an impurity. Air is even an impurity, where if you whip air into it,
particulates,
parchment, fucking anything.
Right. You can't even use, but people will use the idea of, oh, it's shatter, so it has to be good, or, oh, it's butter, so it obviously isn't as good as shatter, and, like, obviously it's been proven that that's just not true, because there's multiple ways, like, it's in terms of, like, the actual material.
Yeah, I mean, people have this thought that, a winterized product can't be butter, but we already know that you can winterize a product and butter it. If you can maintain the reclamation of the alcohol without without fucking up the profile of the THCA that's in the substance. And then once it's down to a really high viscosity, you do your natural way of whipping, and if that doesn't create a nucleation point, you can create one by adding an impurity to it.
That's what me and
Like
Jay were
alcohol.
just talking about, huh, Jay? Remember, we were just discussing that about Shatter. He was at the Sub-Zero event yesterday, and he said he's not taking any more Shatter. Right?
Never. I'm never gonna go to any competition with any Shatter ever again. At least, yeah, there's no way. Yeah.
He placed third, by the way. He just placed third.
Well, it's not really that.
fellas. By the way.
What? I'm lost.
I am too. I'm trying to. I didn't hear the guy with that looks like he's by you with the dab happy hat. Happy dad. Dab happy. Can you repeat what you said?
Oh, I was just saying that amen to what you guys were saying, because since I had joined in, I'm 100%.
Oh shit! I was like, I can't hear what he said, so I got confused.
No, I was in agreement with what you guys were saying to the 100%. HB Dab fellas had just said we were talking about basically the same thing in a different call, and that's why I joined in. I was like, oh man, we was basically talking the same thing prior. So, about wax and Shatter in the difference in profiles on why different people like them. And I don't understand why everybody likes Shatter, but, we're in the Northwest, so we know.
Regional. It's regional.
I feel like it's all about what people like, and I like them both, but I like to have them in pairs. I like the Shatter for the taste, and I like to smell the butter or crumble as like a wine, where I would like smell a glass of wine and drink. I don't do that, but how a connoisseur do it. I feel like they go really good together.
Totally. Yeah, I remember shit like, okay, here's how it was. I'm gonna try to be as specific with dates as I can be, and it's cool because you were probably in. I don't know. Were you in LA? You came to LA a little. You weren't there like the whole time, right? I thought. Didn't you come from like a different state?
Yeah, I was in Michigan for a bit, but I probably wasn't that here when you were talking about.
So you've been there as long as I've known you, but what I was gonna say is, up here when BHO first came out, because I saw it first is I saw wax and I saw they called Shatter amberglass back then. There was this H&K test on how to make amberglass. And what happened?
I remember that in 2010, my first time smoking Shatter out here in Cali was amberglass. It was super small shards. Like it was like a broke. If you take like some Shatter I have, threw it at a wall really hard, shattered it into like a million small pieces, and then put it into a fucking or if you had it stuck to a Pyrex dish and you were like just scraping it up off the dish, kind of like, I had also theories on how they were doing it, but yeah, that was the first time I smoked and I was like, there's something wrong with this. This can't be right.
Dude, well, I was always into like how bud smelled, so I didn't really understand terpenes evaporating and all that. But when I first made some BHO, I made it into wax. And any time, like this is right around the time Temisium first came out, and people started buying them up here. Medicropper was talking about he helped go halves, was one of the first guys to buy one up here. But everyone was making Shatter, and when it got around to like vacuum purging, and I would make the wax, it would be the Shatter. I didn't understand I was causing shit to happen or anything like that. I didn't understand anything about the terpenes evaporating. But I'd make it into wax, and everyone up here loves Shatter. But down in SoCal, anybody that I followed, it was always like, you remember the Vader OG Crumble? That was like the shit. Everyone had the Dab Vader style crumble.
They were making it for them. Like, how are you doing it? In 2011 or whatever.
People love crumble.
Dude. And then NorCal and Denver started doing a lot more Shatter. And up here, I don't know, we're still like half and half up here. It's very weird. But the rec side, it's all wax, and the Shatter side, the medical side, everyone likes Shatter. On the rec side, everyone likes wax. And Shatter's cheaper, so it's awesome.
Everyone's here on the
Because wax is cheaper out here. crazy.
Everyone on the East Coast, I mean out here, at least in Jersey, are huge. Like, I don't know too many people that aren't Shatter fans, but, you know, I don't really have too much of a preference. I can, you know, if I have a dab tool, I don't care, but if I don't, then I'm probably going to want Shatter, obviously. You know, but it's interesting. Like, some people won't buy the butter because they don't think it's quality.
Yeah, in the South, that happens a lot.
Right.
Only Shatter down here. All they want's OG Kush, and all they want Shatter. Flower, OG, heavy indica, nothing but Shatter heads. I'll give them some beautiful fucking wax or something, and they look at me crazy. They just don't know how to fuck with it, I guess.
Well, you know, I mean, it's like, well, if I'm used to smoking herb, like for me, like if someone tries to hand me like some flowers, like I'll smoke it or whatever, but I'm more into the wax. So like, you know, I understand though, like if you like bud and like someone gives you a dab, that's cool, but some people can't hang with it, or some people, you know, just don't understand it, so they're scared of it. So it's, you know, that's kind of why stuff like this is important.
Me and Jay Glob right there, Jay Scree 420, we were having this conversation like he was saying, and he loves it when it butters. I love it too, but I'm gonna be real with you. Where I'm at, people are shatterheads. So I guess it's regional, maybe. I heard you, Bret, speaking about NorCal, South, called the different substances and consistencies they like. I mean, it could be regional.
Yeah, when you said regional, I was like, dude, it's totally like that. And it evolves. The one thing about butter that I can't stand, not butter, but the misconception of butter, is that people who want to talk about residual solvents being in their shit, who most people don't understand what they're talking about when they're talking about it. But when they do, they're saying, when they talk about it, they're saying that something to do with waxing or anything that has to do with wax, I think it has more solvent in it than when it's Shatter. They have never tested the stuff that they think is good as far as not having solvents in it, and the stuff that they think has a lot of solvents in it. Now, when we're talking about a few hundred parts per million to zero, I'm not sacrificing flavor to go another 50 parts per million slower. I do enjoy butter, especially when it's fresh. But whenever it gets the stuff that's really, really like purged to get the lowest ppm, and that's their main concern, aka refined, I don't really like that.
Hey, Bret. I will have to say I have a client that's like that, and he literally forced us to like source the best solvents possible to the best numbers on our reports. And hey, as far as that goes, like I'm happy that he did that for us. And now like we do show like with SE Labs no solvents whatsoever as far as like on the RSTs for our Shatter. So that's legit. But at the same time, it's like we had to bump our temps up a little more for him. So I know it sacrificed terps on the slab, probably 2 or 3%. You know, from it would have been at 8 or 9, went down to like 6, 5 and 6. So me personally, I wouldn't have sacrificed the 20 to 50 parts per million that I would have gotten had I bumped the temps maybe down a couple degrees. And it was like, that's just me.
Right, and what you said about the solvents, once people eliminate them heavy hydrocarbons out of the equation, it becomes a lot easier. I just texted him with a local guy. I tell him he can ask me questions whenever he wants. We had a couple of things. I'll talk about this pump misconception that someone gave him too later. But when I was talking to him about getting the parts per million, the lowest, get that isopentane out of the equation, get heptane, whatever, all these fucking heavy hydrocarbons that are in canned butane and in instrumental grade butane. I heard that the 99.5 that really tests 97 something from refined hydrocarbon solutions.
That's what I use.
That's okay. It didn't say it had pentane in it anywhere on it.
Here, I might have the lab because we get certificate of analysis from them, and on your tanks, which is kind of I don't know how, but they are legit. Like. And their prices have just bumped down, so I urge anybody that's in the industry out here to fucking definitely look into their tanks. I haven't had an issue with them. I've gone through quite a few chats. Are really cool there. And
they ship. I'm gonna get that for rec. I'm gonna get their propane and their butane.
Hey, and dude, the residual tests there's a difference. There is a difference. Like, I don't care. Like, you can question the lab's authenticity or fucking legitimacy, but when you have a ton of tests with, you know, canned, other cane, and then you have with the same lab, and then you have the test without it, and you see the difference. There's definitely a difference in those heaviers, and when you do the distillation, it's a world of difference. It's like you can breathe.
Dude, see, no matter how crazy a lab's results are compared to other labs' results, as long as it's the same lab every time, it's
yeah,
easy.
so you have a standard to go from.
Exactly.
Well,
the other thing that is someone told him, they didn't like I guess whoever told him this, he told me 2 people, and they were both really smart people that make awesome oil. One of them, a lot of people look up to him. I'm not even going to say who it is, though, but I look up to the dude. They told him that by buying a specific pump, that they pretty much said it like the pump is smart and can pull one thing and not another thing that evaporates out of the oil the exact same way.
What?
Like, for instance, saying, yeah, you can purge faster, getting more of one hydrocarbon out while leaving a different hydrocarbon in, pulling it's the same oil and everything's under the same condition. So that makes zero fucking sense. The main thing for getting anyone can turn with no pump. Here's what I told them. I said you could set your oven at 250 degrees, have no pump, just put a slab in there, come back the next day, and that shit will test lower than anything that you fucking make regularly.
Right.
No pump. People give these pumps so much credit. I think they feel so bad that they bought their specific pump that they're trying to justify it by saying it's magic.
I think the pump is only gonna, for a vacuum oven means nothing. Right? You can use a fucking like $50 pump; it doesn't matter. But when you're getting down to like dealing with stuff like the clear and you need high vacuum applications, you definitely should be spending like a couple grand on your pump.
Bingo! And that's what I call these pumps. I call them distillation pumps.
And then even that, you gotta make sure it pulls down to the right level. And then a lot of these people that are having super success aren't just running a single pump; they're running it in conjunction with a turbomolecular pump. So they're just using the pump as the roughing pump to pull it down to a level for the turbomolecular pump to kick in, and then they're working at super high vacuum.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a problem with a pump, or haven't you been talking about a pump and a new pump you want?
Me, vacuum pumps are a vacuum pump, Like,
I was talking to Jay Glob, the guy next to you.
Oh.
It's all good. He had a little. Weren't you trying to upgrade on a pump or something? He has a Sub-Zero.
I was at Sub-Zero yesterday. One of the reasons, because I have a So when I got my system, is what I did. I called up Sub-Zero and I said I wanted the best 1 pound system that you guys have, complete system. And I didn't have any questions other than I wanted my class. By all means, I wanted to pay for my class to go with it, and just set me up with the entire thing, oven, everything. I didn't even care what the price of it was, and this and that. Well, it ended up coming down to it that I didn't get an oilless pump, and I didn't end up knowing what I was getting either.
What they give you? What kind?
It's a
It's Edward?
that you guys have. Like, I talked to them, and that's all their pumps that they.
What's it called? What's it look like?
It's actually in the back of my vehicle right now. I haven't taken it out.
Don't worry about it.
Does it have like a 20 or a 30 on it? Big red 30?
Yeah.
It does? That's a very powerful, good pump.
Oh, I paid like 26 for it, but
you must have got it new. That's that's the pump. Hey, that's the pump I'm getting. I'm gonna get 2 of them for recreational.
What are you getting?
An Edwards,
That's
18 CFM or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's only because they're big. I'm getting big ovens.
Oh, I'm thinking for your extractor. I'm like,
Oh, you were thinking the pump to run the system.
refrigerant
Wait,
pump.
is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about for your oven?
I'm talking about my oven pump, yes.
Oh man,
Oh.
I'm on a whole other page here.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brett. You were using an oven out of from a company that was based out of Jersey, right?
Yeah, Cross International.
Yeah, it's funny because I had a buddy who worked there, and he would like tell us about this job he had. Now, mind you, I'm on the East Coast, and he would be like, hey, like, I went to work.
Yeah, Cross International.
Yeah, it's funny. I walked out with some wax, and I was like, dude, like bullshit. Like we live on the East Coast or whatever. Turns out he was like cleaning these ovens. And they were just like ending up like, and people would ship them with like just so much oil like left in there, not cleaned, even though they were supposed to. That like he had all of this oil. So hilarious. Like, and turns out I like researched the company, and they had the only picture that they had shared was a picture of you holding a slab next to their machine. So I always thought that was funny, and I wasn't sure if it was like actually using it or what. But no, it's good to know that like they're reputable.
Oh, dude, that reminded me. Their ETS before they started putting the expansion columns on their system, because they're the North America reps for CareSaver, which is a refrigerant recovery pump, and they actually pulled over an ounce of oil out of a pump that they were repairing, because when you're recovering, this happens passive too if you do it like the way that me, Haritsu, and Busy Bee do. Where if you're pulling so hard on that tank, the recovery tank, or on your collection tank, that the butane actually foams up, like when you blow bubbles in milk.
Yeah.
And if that butane foam makes it up the hose, it's got oil in it. So doing it our way, the worst that happens is you get some oil in your recovery pump, or your recovery tank. But doing it through a pump, that gums up the pump once the butane evaporates.
Well,
So they were burning out their pumps.
The thing is, I believe how the sweet leaves are set up. They don't have a dip tube on the top cap of the collection pot, do they?
On the collection tank, they do have a slight dip tube. Huh?
Like a Buckner.
There's
like
not a dip. I mean,
like
when you're
4 or 5 inches.
Sorry.
Like on the top cap of the collection pot, where the entry line of the oil comes in, is it just is it flat, flush with the cap on the inside, or does it come down like a few inches?
It comes down a few inches like a Buckner funnel. That's the way they designed it because they didn't want to be when you're pulling shit from the Dewax tank, or if you're running it regular and you're pulling it through the weed tank, so that way you don't suck it up the line as a liquid. But the butane foaming up, like when it gets below 0 ps, like let's say you have a tank at a full vacuum, and then you have your collection tank that's at like 0 psi frozen with butane in it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I just that's where you just really have to be mindful about how much you're filling your collection pot up and how much you're gonna foam up, and like even then, like I've seen pump systems and not even have the same issues. So pump or not, you're gonna have that oil being sucked up that line. If you don't have a filter or some type of expansion column or some molecular sieve, you're really fucking your pump up.
Oh, totally. That's why these CO2 machines where they have to run the Haskell the entire time, and it has to create the 900 psi in some cases or higher. There's like 1500 psi ones where these Haskell pumps are doing it. They have to I can't remember how many runs he said. I think it's like every 9 hours that the fucker runs. They have to take it apart and redo the seals and all that shit.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah, that's the thing with pumps. That's the one quorum I don't have a problem with pumps in the sense of production. In a production setting, it's much cheaper to go a pump route than it is to go passive when you're thinking about doing big runs, larger than 5 pounds, because you're not gonna be able to like have the storage capacity of in multiple tanks within your extraction room. It's not gonna be permitted in any fucking laboratory. It's gonna have
And all
to
that
be
dry ice.
outside the extraction
Yeah,
room.
exactly, and all the dry ice.
Things are gonna be having to be done properly, and for a passive setup, that's very costly. It can be done for sure, and you'd be so sick, and that's what I'm planning. Like I'm setting, like I'm doing. I got plans as soon as everything's regulated and shit. Like hopefully, but you're talking like if you're going to some dude to give you these plans and set you up that way, $1 million and easy, and $500,000 if not. Like if you're doing it yourself, so. It's not really viable in a production standpoint to not go pump when you're talking like hundreds of pounds a day. In my opinion, if you're trying to dial it down to the least amount of extractors working at one time.
Yeah.
I missed what you guys were talking about. How did you get? I've never seen foam in my recovery tank or in any of them.
Oh, I was mentioning that I have a friend out here that like worked for an oven company, basically like a vacuum company, and would fix them, and they would just like so many of these like so many of these ovens would have like leftover oil in it. So then Bret was saying that like the reason why like on some machines were having this problem, I believe it, having all this oil like stuck in the machines was because of crystal, was because they were foaming up due to.
Well, that's two different things. The oil being in the ovens is either from it just being dripping off their rack or being floppy or whatever. But there's a lot of Terpene ovens. But the pumps, I'm talking about a recovery pump in the extraction system in your collection pot. It happens when the pressure drops really fast on the butane. It's boiling and it starts to foam. And if you look in your sight glass, when the pressure's dropping, it only really happens below 0 psi. It doesn't really happen much after you get above 0, but it starts to foam. Well, and if the recovery pump's pulling really, really hard on it, it can foam all the way up. Just like in a Buckner funnel, if you ever open blasted and dewaxed open, or you did the dewaxing process open, and you're pulling it through, and if you rip too hard of a vac on it, the butane will foam up in the Buckner funnel. Scare the hell out of you.
No.
Or sorry, it'll foam up in the flask below it, the Erlenmeyer flask or filtering flask.
Implosion.
Right off the bat, I got to give you mad props, man. You're the only reason that I have figured out how to stabilize and not wax my product. I will say that right now. I have I literally in my garden had to listen to you on demand. I just let your videos play, and I waited until while I'm in my garden just working hours upon hours upon hours, letting your videos play because you have them long, nice, and you just talking, working in, doing all your different until you got to that, and I heard it on my overhead in my garden, and went running to my thing, and finally figured out in my flips what I was doing and the unvacuum, how I was unvacuuming my oven too fast.
Oh, and it would collapse on itself?
Yeah.
Dude, well, that's awesome. That's pretty fucking cool. There's a few, like the bubbles falling. I mean, not so much the bubbles falling, but like when you got multiples, when they're stacking, like almost in muffin mode, or even in muffin mode, it's even more of a chance. The earlier on in the purge that it is, the more of a chance there it is. Basically, like when he was talking about winterized oil, not buttering, the further along in the purge that you get, the more and more stable it gets, with the less volatile shit being in it. You're more in the clear. Versus when it's still got a lot of butane in it and a lot of terpenes and shit in it, you can touch it off easy. You know the things that hold the oven racks, them little things that stick in there across international ovens. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's 4 of them in each rack.
Oh yeah.
I got a Cascade Britannica.
Oh, you got a Cascade. Oh, nice. I don't know if those have the same things for the racks, but they're like these little metal prong things that they're way more expensive than they should be. But
They have their
one
own
of them,
shelf.
huh,
They have their own personal shelf, and so you can actually. It comes with it. It matters which size you get, but all their shelves back on top of each other, so you can take out the entire shelf and pull your slab out and then slide it onto another shelf, and you can get down to half-inch shelves, or you can have. It comes with 3-inch shelves, so it comes with 3, and then you just order a bunch of half-inch shelves, so you could actually once you've done you can slide yours back in there once you've done it. The muffins, certain ones do that I've realized. I've only actually got 19 runs under my belt, so you guys are gods to me, man.
thank you, dude. I love how their racks are. What you were talking about, how they stack like that. In the Cross International, they have these 4 little pegs for each rack, and they fall off. And one of them fell off. My muffin stuck to it, and then when I let the muffin down, it pulled it off with it. Then I just kept purging with it in there, but right where it landed in my shit, touched off the buttering. And it just kept going from there. I was so pissed.
They did away with that like a long, long time ago, version 3.
Oh, really? I guess that shows how old the ovens are that I use.
Yeah, you're still in Stone Age over here. Yo, they got the 7.2s or like the heated shelves and shit. Apparently, it's stuff.
Dude, at least I don't got a blue door one. At least I don't have one of those old ass ones. Mine's like VO 2003. It's the VO series.
Whoa, bro. That was in 3.
Oh, 2013. Sorry, 2013. My bad. I missed the decimal.
Sorry, I might have.
Yeah, I was making oil when I was 14.
Killing it, man. Killing it.
Shit, I need to add more oil.
Dab oil?
Dab oil. Dude, I've been digging this American piece.
What are you, what class artist?
This is not no 10-star.
Robin Hood.
This is some Sun Purge.
Oh, it's a Robin Hood recycler, right?
Some person on a silicone pad. Oh, dude, that looks like some shit I used to make in my that looks like some refined or some honey or sugar wax. With
It's
the
like
craters.
like Shatter. It's got like the little honeycomb holes, but just Sun Purge and a water bath. Like
No vacuum?
no vacuum.
It looks like it was in a vacuum. That's crazy.
I'm honored. Oh yeah.
Dude.
Looks good.
I'm starting to question some of the stuff that told me onto a vacuum now.
Oh yeah, I know. You could, especially with the surface area that he. Notice how that was spread really thin. He knows what he's doing with the heat purge.
Yeah, because you need as much surface area to purge.
Flatten it out.
Well, when people use these small, like I know someone that like was purging out oil like in Pyrex or like reclaimed to like make edibles with or whatever, like the alcohol, but was using like a small Pyrex like measuring cup, and I was like, so what?
Cheers, Brett. Cheers, everybody.
Which makes sense to many, but some people doesn't. They don't realize it.
Right. When you get hot enough to keep the oil molten, like when it's a liquid, you tilt it, it runs. That's at the point that the surface area isn't as crucial of a deal.
Right.
But we're trying to get the butane out, and we're at a temperature that the oil's stable at. Then that's when you want to be having more surface areas, but like when we vacuum purge and whatnot.
Jay took third place yesterday in that event that they held, right, Jay? What is it, Sub-Zero event? he took third place and
Yeah, I got the first competition I've ever entered in any concentrate. I just got third there at Sub-Zero. There were 20, 27 entries. I was number one. Um, and yeah, I gave 3 different material types of, I because it all comes down to the preference. I know that people right off the bat have a different eye, so I gave 3 different appearances of my product, because it comes since I learned how to adjust my temperature to each different type of product to how it wants to allow me to do my flips and not get it to butter or to butter it in the agitation. That's what I had to figure out what it was. I thought, no matter what, if I winterized it, and like I always keep it for at least 3 days prior. I tried not doing, and it was really just listening to those videos. And I mean, I've been listening to Hash Church forever, but on the aspect of that buttering, getting it to and not, it took me to hear that one where you were talking about how slow you even have to make sure you're doing your air when you're doing your purge. When you go under vacuum, how slow you have to take it under even vacuum because it's going to bring that friction to your material. So,
Yeah,
Well, what's
it's
going to
like
happen?
whipping.
The reason why you're vacuuming and causing buttering to occur quicker, and when you're doing it on and off like you would going up and down, is that not only are you just applying your vacuum in a sense to purge it, but you're actually purging quicker, like by letting it out and then pulling more and then letting it out and then pulling more. You're evaporating those terpenes by doing that, pulling them to the surface. And if you ever had like if you don't agitate anything and you just do a long purge and you end up with like a sugar wax consistency, not a crumble, not a butter, but a sugar wax, where it's like just there's like a terpene soup on top of your wax or whatever. And that's pretty much what's happening is your terpenes are precipitating out these cannabinoids and they're heavy, so they're sitting on the bottom, and then your terpenes are floating to the top and they're separating into 2 different layers on your oven. So with that thought, like, I mean, really, you just want to like try to be as clean as possible, not have any impurities go to into your thing, and don't have an accelerated of like any type of actions that can accelerate your terpenes to be more active during the initial back stage, in my opinion.
Dude. Yeah, I like how you think about them as a solvent. You're like being all mixed up in your shit in the same way the butane is.
It's exactly the same thing. Like as if you left that shit in the jar of butane and like the slow evaporate, like you said, somebody you knew had done that one time in a cold environment, ended up with crystals on your shit that tested that high. It's the same thing, but take away the butane, add the terpene. If you had a high terpene solution, you do the same process. You'd have, crystallization due to evaporation.
Wait.
Oh, to the supersaturated.
I found out I just used 3.79 gigabytes because I wasn't on my internet. I got a text from Verizon saying I'm already 75% because I only have 20, and now I'm already over 15.
So this was an entire run. That once this happened, I had an entire run that came back nothing but wax, and then now the run I'm on for this is Jack's Cleaner.
Oh, I bet that smells like lemons.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Super
The-
juicy.
Oh man, the whole under of this is just nothing but like glass. It looks like.
Oh
I
yeah,
a 4 day.
that part, the part that's glassy. Eventually, it depend. I don't know how long it'll take. It depends on the environment. But the bottom will be. It'll still have that imprint from whatever it was purged on, which looks like it's the silicone mat maybe or parchment. But that glassy part will go away, and it'll be waxy. Inner space. We had a skate park called Inner Space.
Yep. It's chill. I like to skate in the space.
Inner Tiger Meds, huh, Jay?
Yeah, that. All I know is that hasn't happened since I went on like full on. I did not stop watching videos nonstop until I heard Bret here say that in his video over my overhead, and I went running to my stereo system, grabbed my phone, and was like, "What the fuck?" And I just had to go back a little bit because it was just that part of. I've been. What am I doing that is? Because I by all means, I do it slow. Yeah, I just wasn't.
If you want to understand it like completely, like where it's just like you understand it, like there's no questions about it, like then I would look into crystallization and apply it the same way. Like the terpenes is the solution, right, or the solvent, and the solute is your oils that you have dissolved in what is now the solution. And that solution is a super saturated solution because there's so much cannabinoids in there. And THCA is the main one, and that's why that one is likely to crystallize out because it's so high in concentration.
I just found out yesterday, also while I was at Sub-Zero, that during this run, I also made a mistake. And is why this possibly came out, is this run could have been so much bigger than what it was my return. It's the fact that I shoved, okay, I have a 1 pound system. I only have a 6 pound of solvent that I can run through. You need 5 pounds of solvent to run through 1 pound. I put 2 pounds of Jack Cleaner in my system. I didn't even have enough solvent to run through it.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's not good.
So
the weed was sticky when you took it out, huh?
I called them up at Sub-Zero because I have not even moved this stuff. I'm still questioning this, and that's what I still have like that amount right there is like.
Here's the thing, right? This is why I don't like Sub-Zeros, and I'm gonna drop a little tidbit. If you're running a really cold solvent over your material, you're looking at about anywhere, depending on the amount of cannabinoids your material like contains, right? You want to put 5 to 10 to 1 ratio, either 5 pounds to 1 pound of material or 10 pounds to 1, anywhere between that ratio, in order to get the most thorough wash of your material. And you want to keep it at a really cold temperature, unless you're the higher the temperature you go, the less that ratio gets, because you're gonna strip the most soluble compounds first, and as soon as those are done, you're gonna start stripping everything else. So the idea is to like stop it, get it to a point where you are isolating out only specific compounds, which are your cannabinoids or terpenes, at a certain temperature, and then that way it's easier to refine later on. Otherwise,
see, that's that money. That's those fine.
It's gross.
It depends on how much oil is in your material, too.
Right.
Let's say you ran some like trim that didn't have, it was like 5%. You could get away with packing 2 pounds in there and running your 6 pounds of butane over it. But you throw some really heady, over 20% yield stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like me, for 6 pounds, I don't like to go over, like if I'm running cement, I don't even like going over 400 grams. for 6 pounds, and that's only cold. I mean, the warmer the run is, the more, like he was saying, the more, well, it's gonna pick up bad shit too. But your butane can extract more shit. The warmer it is, more waxes, more bad shit too. But that's why Sub-Zero does the cold thing. And they started this all when it was open blasting. When there was the only way to really have your weed be really cold, because if you put your can in dry ice first, the butane wouldn't even come out of it. So you could cool it in a freezer like I used to do, but what they did was they made it
for 10 minutes. This is one can.
One can, yeah, 10 fucking minutes. But they made the weed tube cold, so they were onto that before people with closed loops started blasting out of tanks that were chilled in dry ice.
You chill the tube all you want. If you're injecting warm tane, you're not doing shit. Unless you're like literally, like, I mean, even if you're stalling it, you're still fucking yourself. Like, you're going to be extracting so many different things that are going to dissolve in your butane before, you know, it gets to a chilled temperature.
My main peeve is the butane getting held in the column because it's cold. Like, if there was a way to take that, I wish there was a design where that outer sleeve was held on with like a 10-inch tri-clamp. So you can un-tri-clamp it and take that shit off after you've extracted, and then close the valve under the weed first. And then that way get the butane out of the weed. I would love that. But what they say to do is to run with it. I've watched their one they had, Jolioli did a video out there, but they also have this like live, kind of like what we're doing right now on their channel, on the Sub-Zero channel, where they show you how to run the system. And they say to recover down to like a full vacuum on your tank that's cold with your I just say cold, but on your collection tank that has your butane, your oil in it after you've extracted, and you're starting your recovery, they say to go to like a full vacuum where I know that butane will be foaming up, but just to get all the butane out of the weed. Because someone asked, how does the butane get out of the weed when it's cold? And I'm sure there's still, if they pushed that out into a baggie and sealed it, I'm sure that shit would still inflate from all the butane.
Absolutely, 100%. No doubt about it.
It's how the system works. That's why
you have to initiate a change, a phase, change in the phase.
He actually took the class, so he could tell us.
I took the class. I've been to numerous Sub-Zero events. I have the machine. Plain and simple, I don't believe still is why. How can they call it a closed loop system? Still, because exactly like you just said, because the second you separate that and this and that, you have your honey pot. You know, you have your honey pot that's sitting there, and the second you close it off. Now, if you were to purge it in that system like water, you could water bath it, self-sustain, keeping it in there, and you know what I mean, and just not touch it, not crack your pot ever, and purge it directly in there. And that's what they even talk about for the person that doesn't want to buy an oven. It's self-sustaining, and that's why it's a closed loop. But the second you crack that pot, you just if you're sitting there at above it or whatever, and you do not have a good CFM fan sucking out, yeah, by all means, you're going to be all types of butane. If you did not, because you're trying to have a little bit of a pour, and by all means, at least that's how they explain it, and then you have to figure out how much you're going to leave in there. But by all means, if you just, like you just explained, when you separate those two, you guys are so much more into the.
He's talking about more about the material tube, not the collection part. Everything that's in the material
start building because there's butane still left in it.
In the material tube, right?
Exactly.
Even in the you're talking, yeah, he's talking about the collection pot, but yeah, even in that you do have butane in there. That is
different than putting it into a plastic bag. You'd see it start expand. If you don't, like, they tell you to take it under negative, and then you have to release it slowly, and you have springs over there.
Right, dude. doing it like that, you're definitely pulling. The only butane that'd be in there then is just whatever's evaporating out of the oil. But what I was talking about mainly is the butane that soaks into the weed like a sponge. When you after the run, since it's so cold with the dry ice sleeve around it, it's like it keeps the butane in the weed to where you lose a pound of butane or two in the fucking weed. Instead of being able to close it off, because here's what I do: I close the valve under my weed tube after the run and get the butane out of the weed before I do that while it's chilling and dewaxing. But let's say there's a Sub-Zero that doesn't have the middle tank, and you have the column. I do the extraction. Everything would be down in the honey pot. And then I close a valve that's on top of the honey pot between that and the weed tube, if there is one on Sub-Zero. I think there is. And then I would, the same way I'd shot my butane into the weed tube. Oh, you have to flip the tank over on the Sub-Zero. I forgot. So if you could imagine there being a hose going from the top of the weed tube to the tank, I would recover that butane out. But since there's dry ice around the weed tube, I can't heat it up to get the butane out of it. So that was what I was talking about. My only issue was I would have to like pour hot water in and evaporate all my dry ice because I couldn't get it off. I was thinking it'd be cool if that thing had like a clamp to get the fucking sleeve off. So because I want to save my dry ice, reuse it for the next round. I don't want to fucking evaporate it away. So you have to take the system apart and tilt it upside down to dump that shit out.
Well, I dump it right into a 5-gallon bucket, and then if I have another run that I'm going to do, I start my system and I use my dry ice again.
That's what I want to do.
You know, my slurry that's sitting there, and that's what I start off with is I dump that, and then I always, because I have enough CFM and I'm keeping my environment to keep my oven running, sitting right there, so that way, that's what first thing I learned is stabilizing your environment so that way your oven is not overworking and it's not underworking, or you know what I mean. That was a key thing that I when talking to Cascade Tech about the ovens. The only reason I went with that oven is because it's the same thing that's in the space shuttle, is what I was told, and I was like, shit, I want some shit that's in the fucking NASA. You know?
Yeah. Dude, now you already have it. You already spent the money. I mean, you've got a good piece of equipment. I feel like they are overpriced.
I feel like the same. And I know people that have now bought Cascade Techs. I've seen people get them and then totally regret their purchase.
By all means, my next one is not going to be. I'm going to get me a lot cheaper one, and I plan on building my next system since I've researched and been watching so much more. By all means, I was watching you guys on how to do the open blasting, and that's how. Oh man, that's such a science. That's so much more fun doing. That's a science, man. To be able to, I can literally. I'd rather smoke some of my open blasted stuff at times, because it was so just terpy, and some of that open blasting stuff was really good.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool.
I make some phenomenal stuff now, but
yeah, now you gotta do it. Well, I don't know how big of a scale you were doing open blast, but yeah, when I was maybe the last couple months of it, I finally started running pounds. Before that, I was doing quarter-pound tubes and stuff. Yeah. So I could run it. If someone brought me a quarter-pound, I could actually run their quarter-pound single strain. Now, fuck no, I don't want to spend that much time on a damn quarter-pound. Same time it takes if I want to run 2 pounds. 2 pounds or a quarter-pound, same amount of time.
Yeah.
Way different pays. You know.
Yeah, no matter what my process in the Sub-Zero, you're looking at 3 hours to do one run.
That's ridiculous. See, that's the thing. That's why I can't. One thing I don't. Well, there's so many fucking things I can get on a list about Sub-Zero's fucking. engineering of their system. I
But
mean,
hey, that's how long it takes to do it with the sweet leaf.
Space. I was like, that's sick.
With the
dude, like you know, like we, like, that's why like I couldn't settle for something that was being used by somebody. I mean, after doing like, all my research, having the experience on a machine, it's like I had to literally engineer my own system. And now I ran into Giddy Up over at the Cup right at our hotel room. We like walked into a fucking the elevator as we were going down, and I was like, "Hey, Giddy Up." He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And we're talking. I showed him the system. He's like, "Yeah, you should hit me up if you want to try to get it approved once everything goes regulated." So, I mean, that might happen if everything goes regulated out here. I probably would do that just because I don't feel comfortable running somebody else's system that's engineered by it's mediocre. There's so many things that it can't do, and like you're limited by. Like you can only use so much solvent. You have to soak your columns in this material, and then soaking your columns will add so much more elements to the texture that's hard to dial in. And especially if it's really resinous material, then you have to use more solvent. But how do you do that when you're soaking a column? When you use so much solvent, then you have to run it through it. But then you're not really soaking it for the majority of the time, and so there's other factors to carry in that you can't dial in with the system like that.
How about ETS and Iron Fist? Have you looked in those?
I have. I mean, ETS. They're all nice, but they're still. I mean, Iron Fist I love as far as craftsmanship. I think he's like on top of the game as far as you're gonna like top of the line shit. You want a solvent tank made by him, but the problem is the turnaround time. Like he's probably the #1 extractor engineer out there as far as building systems, but your turnaround time with him is gonna be good luck.
It takes a long time to get shit?
Yeah, everybody's got complaints about, the turnaround times being fucking forever and a day.
Oh, God. Well, I'll mention that I'll put him on blast. I don't want to have to deal with that shit, man.
Oh, just wait a little bit. Apparently they got some new people working there, and they're going to fix everything. And I'm sure they're going to fix it. I don't want to give them a bad rep because they're definitely the most legit, engineering, out there. I'm going to say fabricate.
I could speed it. I could cut my system run in half if I was to get one more pump because it is designed to run and be purged and vacked the system when I'm doing it with 2 pumps if I have 2 of them. I just did not spend one more $1,000 to get one more of those R34 fucking refrigerant pump. I just didn't get one more of those. I probably should have bought one yesterday when I was there.
What pumps? So what pump did you get? Is it called CPS?
It's the blue. It's the yellow writing. I don't know.
Appion.
Well, let me see. Is it
Here, I'll grab one of the boxes.
Is it one of these?
CPS.
Oh, good. It's not one of these then.
No, it's a CPS.
Okay, good. Yeah, the CPS one. I saw there's this one for $1,000.
Yeah.
And it's got the stainless steel.
Yeah.
And the PTFE, and it's rated for R600.
Yeah.
Dude, that's probably what you got.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can use that in 502.
I got my system came with the 502 certification. I'm certified 100% for 502. That's why I bought it.
Those are, if I was gonna run a pump, the CPSs or the TRS is what's up.
Sub-Zero. That's why I paid what I paid for Sub-Zero for the oven and because when I took my class, and by taking my class, you get certified in the state of Washington to run this system here and that's why I've been getting the offers that I've been getting. All you have to do is go take their $500-700 class, and that's basically a job.
That's awesome.
I just don't. I haven't been.
Good job. I basically have a job too.
I've grown up here my entire life, other than 7 years that I spent in Tucson, Arizona, the most miserable I've ever been in my entire life because of the fucking quality of the weed down there. Shit.
Yeah.
Can't grow down there. The environment sucks. But plain and simple, I think that the system's going in the wrong direction, and it scares me on the 502 agreeing with it and accepting a job here in Washington State. It's really, really, the past 5 years has been crazy up here. So, you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's fucking insane. And not knowing where we're going is even that much crazier. And
Oh, good.
The problem with CPSs are that you're going to have lots of maintenance issues with them over time. You have to, you know, you're going to need multiple of them on hand. I mean, at which point a Haskell is really, if I was doing I-502 or something like really big, a Haskell, and I had a warehouse where noise wasn't an issue, the Haskell is what's up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I notice everyone that rocks those, they either have it outside of their room or they have the headphones.
You could hook 2 of those CPS. If I was to hook 2 of them down below, right there when I'm doing my, once I'm done pulling it, I could cut my time in half if I was to hook 2 of them because they actually design it. And when they do their show there at the live location, they actually have both of those hooked up. And
that's what, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, though, because if you're only using 6 pounds of tane, right, and you're recovering 6 pounds of tane, it shouldn't take an hour and a half to recover that with a pump.
Well, it doesn't take me an hour and a half for that. I let it take an hour and a half prior because I did my winterization process, and I always do an hour to an hour and a half winterization.
So you're long, so the Sub-Zero's long for the same reason that the Sweet Leaf is long. Because we both have that fucking soak time.
Yeah, they told me do a minimum of 45, and I've always, you know, because I'm doing so, I have only done 2 runs that when they weighed out were less than a pound. Everything else, I've been able to shove more than a pound in my system, but until yesterday, I should not be doing that no matter what, because I only have 6 pounds of stuff I can shove through it at a time. Now, I do have more.
Unless it's trim.
I didn't
look
know
at it like, look at it like how much oil's in there. Anytime you think you're going to have 80 to 100 grams of oil, don't put no more than there. Because that's about as much.
I only run top qual nug. That's all I run.
Oh, okay. So pretty much cap it at a pound.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even put a pound in there.
I don't even know. Well, the other day I did my first run of 0.74, and I got my 27-28% that I was expected. But I'm like, and then that's why I was like, this is it. And now I'm doing all my, because like I said, I'm not forcing myself to have to do them. By all means, I'm trying to make sure that before I do my runs, I'm not wasting my, because I'm taking my 100% straight off the line, top quality, as far as I'm concerned, the best nug that I can find, because I can't find your nug anywhere up here, and I still haven't been able to get my hands on any of your materials. So, yeah, T-Rex is the only other people I've tried to clear. I'm not I've even said on my channel I don't like added terps, and they take a couple days to get out of your chest. It feels like those added terps and stuff.
Oh yeah, they give me a headache.
Make me feel
fake terps.
Hey, I was telling HB that the other day. It made me feel that like it took 2-3 days for the haze to kind of feel like it went away.
Yeah, you're saying that shit.
All I know is that I was doing dabs of the Jack Frost Blue River terps, straight just drops on the nail, yo, and it was amazing. It was like just a lingering of flavor for like 5 minutes.
Well, they were actually
them's not fake terps.
Those are rare.
No, totally cannabis derived. So it's not fake.
Brett. The fake terps, Brett. You mess with those?
Yeah, my friend had some. We huffed them.
Yeah.
I've dabbed a bunch of clear that has fake terps in it.
Yeah, the first time I tried clear, which correct me if I'm wrong, but that uses like synthetic terpenes, right?
Yeah, they're well, they
It's a synthetic terpene.
yeah, there is. My buddy has. I posted a picture of them. But clear they don't put the synthetic terpenes in clear. But yeah, there's synthetic. They have synthetic. Like you can get terpenes in natural or synthetic, but they're using the natural.
Oh,
You
okay.
can buy a pack.
I heard something
There's a Amazon seller. You could buy a pack. It comes with all 9 of the terps that the labs test for in natural, and then it's got like 5 or 6 more synthetic terpenes like phytyl and osamine and shit like I can't fuck. But linalool and all the
The terps that were in that were natural.
They're natural, meaning they're from plants, but not weed.
Plants, they're not synthesized, but they're from plant. The first time I tasted that stuff, I was actually like blown away. Not in a good way. It was like weird. Like I felt like I was vaping something. You know, obviously I was, but I thought like I was like, you know, vaping juice or something.
I didn't get no high really.
No, I was tasting so many different things for the first time. Like I feel like I couldn't even really focus in on that. The only thing that I was really in on was the taste. I feel like they really sell it on more than the 99%, which they say, or it's like 98 or something like that.
Yeah, most of these that we had, the natural ones at least, were like 98, 99, 95. None of them were 100% pure. So we don't know what the remainder is, but people just add these together. I mean, we were gonna. I didn't have time, but we were gonna go look up terp profiles and just mix the few that were in the terp profile and actually pretend that there's not all these other things.
I just dropped my.
Yeah, you are right that there is synthetic terpenes.
One second. Let me ban this weird dude.
I drop it.
Yeah,
Stuff's crazy. I mean, and Blue River is like all of that stuff is the isolated terpenes. It's interesting. I don't know, watching it play out because like I've almost game changing.
I noticed a weird. If you guys have ever huffed paint, you know, like gold paint.
Accidentally.
I noticed it kind of felt like that. Like when you take the terps, you go.
I painted a basement.
Dude, it's fucking
crap. Like, I get that. It's overwhelming.
You know, everybody was in the back of the bayou, 13 years old, with a brown paper bag. After you were done tagging, your homeboy said, "Try that shit."
Yeah, gold spray paint or silver, the shiny colors, man.
The silver, yeah.
They got the most paint. They got the most chemicals.
Yeah.
Right, TV Boyd?
Yeah.
Got that gold label, bro?
Yeah, that Orem.
Those are good old days, huh, Brett?
Back when Home Depot was your drug dealer.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to have a adult go buy it. You can't buy it when you're under 18.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, we want to spray paint our bikes gold. Can you buy us 24 cans of gold spray paint?
I got my fine. Those were the days for many people. Still are the days for many people too. So like fuck.
My pump.
How much was it? $5 can, and you was lit all night.
Man, I'm trying to start an online petition for them to take the bitter out of canned air.
I'll sign it.
Yeah,
that'll ruin your day. Your mouth tastes like shit all day long.
Mouth tastes like shit.
Oh damn.
Bret Maverick making moves.
Yeah, safety measures by Bret Maverick, right?
Well, in the name of harm reduction.
I gotta take this dab, and I gotta go meet up with Phil from T-Rex.
Oh, he was in here.
Yeah, he was in here. He was at the dog park, he said.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
well, that's the missed calls that I was getting. He was calling me. I gotta go meet up with him.
Tell Phil I said, what's up, Jay?
I just really enjoying this. Hey, I don't all the time get a. Hey, by all means, I soak up as much knowledge as I can because I don't even know all the terms, and I only got 18, 19 going on here in a day or so when I drive down to Oregon and go to do another process. So, yeah.
That'll be fun.
That's what we have to do, because it's illegal here. So
Right. Oh, I get you. Yeah.
up and drive down the road.
Shit.
Wait, where are you?
I'm in Washington.
Oh.
I don't have my 502.
Right.
By all means, I have a certification to process in Washington with my system, and it's legal to process it here, but it is illegal now as of a couple months ago. Actually, I bought my system a week and a half after it became illegal. So,
Oh, damn, dude. I have another friend that dropped money on a system after. I was like, dude, you
I did that
guys.
purposely, though.
Oh, because you were anticipating the need.
Yes.
Good thinking.
Yeah, I just waited for it, and by all means, the second I couldn't find anything, and that's really what it came down to is T-Rex was running mine. That's who I was set up with for them to be processing for me, and that was why I went with the system. All I know is the best product I had ever tasted, which was the black soda, and still is to this day, the best for my palate. That's why I bought it, because it came through that system, so I just tried to mimic their system.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
Say
that's the best way to do it, same thing with growing, is to find the one that you really like and do that.
Paid to Canadians X amount of years ago to show me how to buy what I needed to buy, no questions. Give me a list. Let me take notes, and by all means, I'm that type of person. If I can take notes and just watch you, by all means, I'm gonna go turn key and I'm setting up shop. So that's what I paid for.
I should say that, even though I have problems with a Sub-Zero, any system out there that's, safe, you can dial in and produce a super great quality extract. It's all about dialing in the proper parameters.
And wanting to dial it in and seeing to it that that's what we're trying to do. Why is it we're getting this? What is this that we're even looking at?
Yeah.
Can we do better? Can we always do better? Thriving to always, no different than every plant that I've ever grown, every mother that I've ever grown and had to keep. Can I get that mother to be better the next time I have to produce that mother and get her to do it? It's seeing that not only am I keeping that genetics, but I'm enhancing it or keeping it stable, not ever replenishing it when what you're doing, and seeing if you're, having those guidelines.
Yeah.
There should be a standard, just like I feel there should be a standard to cannabis.
I've just had this conversation about it
just feel
prior to a standard being made,
I think it's crazy. I know people that just got closed loops and stuff. I've been open blasting for a long time, and they come to me and they're just like, "I hate closed loops. Shit fucking sucks. Fucking garbage." And they have a $15,000-$20,000 machine, and I'm like, dude, are you serious? What are you talking about? I'm like, look at this, and they show me the product, and I'm like, well, it's probably the material or the fucking person that's running it doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah.
I read the manual, man.
It's not closed loops. It's not having your parameters dialed in exactly how it should be. And that's the engineer.
I paid $18 for my 1 pound system and oven.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
It was great, guys.
Hey man, it was great conversating.
I appreciate all the extra knowledge.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's what this is all for.
I love it.
Hey,
You have shitty weather where you're at because it's fucked up right now. It's like a rainstorm, windstorm.
Yep.
Wait, yo, in Washington it's raining?
Yeah, but it's like windy at the same time.
It's really windy here on the East Coast, like really bad, but it's like sunny and it's like 55, which is weird because it's usually like 40.
Damn.
Well, at least up the Mid-Atlantic.
It's all pretty fucking hard with the rain. It's almost like making it like hail. Coming.
Yeah, especially it's blowing against shit. Oh, look, that one guy's got a garden. He's in the middle of it.
Wanted to say, what's up, Brett? I live in Kent, by the way. We had a ton of fucking rain this morning, too.
Hey.
Oh, what's up? Hey, I was born at Valley Medical.
Yeah.
In Renton, yeah.
Also
That's cool.
Last year at Hempfest, I was chilling with LOL Poddington for a while, and he gave me some green crack that you made. It was pretty bomb, man.
Oh, neat. Yeah, great. That was a while ago.
I feel like I saw that on a video even that day.
Traded him
Yeah.
for some T-Rex that Phil and Ryan make. Lucky to have some of this shit. I actually got some of Jay Scree you were just talking to about the Sub-Zero. I got some of his stuff too. It's bomb as hell. The Jax cleaner that you were talking about, amazing stuff. This is some of the best stuff I've ever smoked. Easy.
Damn, see, that's what's up.
definitely, I agree. It's my favorite. The Jax Cleaner is my favorite over the Black Cherry Soda, which was my previous.
He's super terrific, and like can't mistake the fucking flavor.
Hey, you're right. That Black Cherry was amazing, but
Has anybody tried from Mass Genetics?
that was from my boy Inner Tiger Meds, Jason Crease. The Black Cherry Soda, I've tried T-Rex Black Cherry Soda. I've tried Lifted Dream Extracts Black Cherry Soda, and I've tried Inner Tiger Meds Black Cherry Soda. Oh, wee, that's a handsome dab mat you got there.
Shouts out to HB Dab Fellas. Every time.
I've also tried the Lifted Dream Extracts Black Cherry Soda.
What'd you think?
It was pretty damn good.
It was, right?
Yeah,
You
man.
want to hear something funny about that one, Brett? That one you got was in my freezer, bro.
It was in your freezer?
It was in my freezer. I got it from Brandon. He sold it all to me, and then I was chilling with him again with LL Poddington. He's like, "Gotta get one for Brett." It's like, gotta get it back to him. I've been holding on to this for like a week. We gotta get it to Brett.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah, because that's where I got it from. He ended up giving it to my other friend because I hadn't seen him in so long.
Oh, wee, it's delicious, huh, Brett?
Yeah.
Was that the T-Rex? Did he try the T-Rex as well or no?
I have yet to try some T-Rex.
What?
Yeah, I know, man. I got. Oh, never mind. I tried some. I forgot.
Predator Pink.
I can't remember what strain it was.
Grapefruit, Predator Pink.
Whatever. My one friend had a whole slab.
Okay.
Like not the whole slab, but he had a slab.
Green Crack.
Jack the
So I
Ripper
don't
was
know what it
funny
was.
for a while.
Jack the Ripper, yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be looking for a lot of new things out of T-Rex. That's a good friend of mine, Phil, and I'm hearing through the grapevine they got big things in the works, so keep an eye out.
Oh boy, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna take another dab for you, Brett, and then I'm gonna have to bounce, man. I got steaks to cook. I got things to do. Y'all know it's Sunday, guys.
Sunday.
I got jet fuel to smoke, the real jet fuel. You know, I'm not on flour as much as I used to be, but when I'm barbecuing, I'll smoke a good joint or two.
Yeah, you gotta smoke. You gotta smoke while you smoke your meat, right?
You feel me, right? Definitely.
I haven't smoked flowers since the last time we did these videos.
Oh wow. Hey, you ever see Soul Assassin or Sinister OG?
Yeah, all the time.
You
Well,
do?
Assassin OG, yeah.
Yeah. And then have you ever seen the B-Rails, the one dude just jet fuel?
Fuel? Yeah.
It's the same thing, right?
You know, a lot of these strains are pretty much the same, or like small variations, and none of them are fucking developed by any of these people that put their name on it. It's a joke. It's fire.
It's fire, yeah. I got some fire ass jet fuel.
What one is really loud?
Wow.
It's fire. I think like the best OG I've seen was the real OG Kush Story OG out here, like lately, in my opinion.
That shit's so good.
So fire. Like I walked in my buddy's dispensary and he was like showing me all the OGs they had. Like even their in-house OG, which was, you know, pretty good, you know. It's fire, but dude, the real OG Kush Story, I was like, this is the truth right here. It's fire.
Dude, is there still someone down there growing it and selling it to shops?
I mean, that stuff was legit from what I'm hearing, and I mean, you just look at it and smell it, and you know, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of cuts out here, you know, and people do it.
Because the guy who lived in Silver Lake and got that cut, he actually moved up here about a year and a half ago.
What up, everybody?
And now he only sells it to the bakery, and he recently just started selling it to PDA.
Yeah, I mean,
but dude,
your market of strains up there are super fucking like stingy for the people that have.
Oh, dude, it took a while for people to want to like pay more for OGs, so we didn't have a lot of OG stuff. Now we do. Now we're starting to eat more.
It's super stingy down here. I mean, there's a shit ton of motherfuckers.
Oh, what's up, everybody?
You got all the
they
OG.
want is OG. All they want is jet fuel.
Out here,
all they want is Paris.
Although,
I don't know what it is.
Changing lately. We've gotten these. It's now all about like these the new pop-up strains like strawberry banana. Fucking Tangy's still like really big right now.
What's up, guys?
Yo. Stuff like that is really popping. OGs are kind of
I hear a lot of stuff about strawberry lemon too. That's a real trendy strain lately. Really trendy. You're right.
There we go with that regional word again. Because where I'm at in the South, all they want is OG. They're ignorant. I done gave someone some
here's the thing.
some cookie from the cookie fam, some Thin Mint cookie, and they complained because it wasn't a OG. They're ignorant down here. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah,
I don't know on cookies at some point.
I'll be honest, there's not many cookie strains I really
Whoa, dude. Hey, Drew, is there a way you can adjust your mic volume down a little bit?
Sure, dude, yeah.
I have to mute him.
How's that? Is that?
It went muted. Someone muted you.
Okay. That's better.
If I was in the South, you know, I'd probably be an OG head too.
Yeah, brother, I'm trying. How's that?
Because I love
A
OG.
little lower, but you're almost there.
Other flavors.
Yeah, I am too. I love cookie.
All right, how's that, man?
Lemon OG.
How's that?
Other flavors, but
Okay,
down
cool.
here, all they want is OG, Kush, and if it's concentrate, Shatter. If it is the Shatter, they get real. First thing they'll ask me is it Shatter. I mean, like, goddamn, it's fire. That's all you need to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Do they care what color the Shatter is?
Yeah, they want gold, clear. Like, they're Mario and Luigi down here, man. All they want is gold coins. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up.
That's cool, though. I mean, they're paying attention, They must have. It must be the internet.
Yeah, no shit. They're looking at everything. They're like, they got Google right here, man. What's this?
Hey, can you turn that light on?
Dude.
You know what time it is. They want that gold shit. They want it stable, you know. And especially where I'm at, it's real hot down here in H-Town. And, you know, if you got some sappy shit, man, it could be a long summer night. You dig?
Oh, I bet. Damn.
You're freezing.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes, sir. And we love all types of oil down here. Purple oil, all that stuff. Y'all dig? Yeah. Y'all see me with my Sprite tech. I ain't faking it.
Yo, I'm from Illinois originally. They got stuff down there I wouldn't shine my shoes with.
Oh, man, yeah. All my shit's from Washington and shit. I feel you.
We have those at Herbal Healing, the Sprite.
Oh, yeah, man. I like smoker top, shelf meds. I like try to get it top, you know, notch glass. And I got a diamond knot L on that one. A diamond knot, J-Red diamond knot XL head on that one.
All right, on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, I'm trying to enlighten people down here. I'm HB Dad, fellas. I'm waiting till you know we get lit up one day, and I'm trying to let people aware of things. I got the Glob Mob official GMO. My friends here, Magnetoid Rowdy. That guy in here earlier, Inner Tiger Meds. T-Rex concentrates is GMO. Yeah. So we're trying to, you know, enlighten people where all they want, you know, I love wax. I love a good crumble, man. I'm down with them terps. But down here, they're really ignorant. So imagine that all you could give them, Brett, is top-notch OG Kush indica and gold coins. They see a different color, they get scared of some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you have anything that isn't fucking clear, and they're just like anything that isn't like that like light like glass, and they're bugging, and they're you know calling you names and shit. It's
Straight up.
Man, that's a harsh environment, brother.
Not really, but you know it gets to some people will be like, dude, I don't want any of that tin soup. And it's, first off,
For sure.
you know you got to come correct and educate if you're gonna.
You guys get that clear concentrate down there?
I'm in Flint now, man. I'm from Illinois originally, but I just moved up to the Flint area because I had some, you know, drama pop off in Illinois, and so so I'm up in here in Flint now. But I mean, yeah, we can, you know, we get some good CO2 run clear stuff, you know, that I've had from a friend of mine from PSI Labs and stuff. But that's about it. It comes real rare, you know, real rare.
No, you gotta get your stuff input. Like you know, you gotta know people that get.
Yeah, it's got to come in. Normally, we get we'll have Moxie bring it back from Cali. He'll come back here to Detroit and drop it off to a couple of our boys, you know, at Treetop Labs and shit like that. That's about the only way to really touch on it around here.
That's cool, because I'm under the impression that a lot of people that are like getting Moxie even around me are probably having stuff that's being touched up.
Well, I can tell you some inside stuff on that, man, because I actually, my buddy is the chemist. His name's Aaron. He actually does all the processing for Moxie. And anyways, it's precision extracts. You guys can, I don't know if you guys know who precision extracts is out of Detroit. But yeah, Josh is like one of the owners, but the extraction guys is my buddy Aaron. And what's going on basically is it's not really necessarily Moxie stuff. It's Moxie's seeds that are getting processed. It's Moxie approved, if you follow what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. So very rarely does his hands ever either grow it or does he extract it anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's all like he'll go into people's gardens and say, okay, yeah, you're running my Goji, and yeah, I like it. I'll approve that. That can now get ran, and you can put my label on it. But it has to be ran through precision.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah, and some people will argue, hey, if the guy's gonna put his name behind it, but if you're going for the name, then you should probably be getting stuff by the name. You know what I mean?
Well, right, and that's the thing. I'm not, you know, dissing the guy or nothing, but that's what I felt. I felt like if you're gonna put your name on it, somewhere you should have been involved. Your hand should have touched it at some point in time, whether it's the extraction, the growing, the something.
I mean, at this level, like,
right.
I might sound stupid. I might sound really like dumb saying that because like.
I don't think so.
but in the future, it might be too crazy to be able to do everything at like yourself. Obviously, if it, especially
Look, he asks for $50 a gram wholesale from the clubs up here. Okay, that's insane.
that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
And we have to sell it for 45 a half gram and 50 for a half gram of live resin. So to the patients, that's bullshit. And when he's not even touching it, you know what I mean. So that's just my opinion, and whatever, So again,
50, yeah. I mean, and I'm not even like I've had Moxie. It was great, whatever. But like it's like I don't know.
I got some nice gold shit right here that gets me just as high as Moxie shit, tastes just as good, and I made it my damn self. You know what I mean? So what? Fuck.
That's the best shit, right?
Right. You have the more pride in it. It always tastes better when you made it, right?
Exactly, right.
Dude, there's a company up here on 502 called Moxie's Mints. I was like, dude, I was bummed. I got so excited thinking we had some. I was about to give me some rec oil.
Right.
I didn't buy that shit.
Hey, this dab's for you guys, all right?
Alright.
Right. Yeah, your mic's still a little bit high. If you tone it down a little bit. But
all right, Brett, man, I'm about to HB Dab fellas, bro. I'll see you next time, homies. All y'all, you too, bro. Keep it real. Magnetoid Megan bump. Hey.
How's that, man? I just moved it a little away from my face.
No, you're straight.
Oh, there you go.
I hate to be that guy. I'm an audio file. Like, I fucking.
Dude, did they fix that Flint water yet?
Fuck no, man. And I didn't know when I moved up here I was going to be moving to a disaster area. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
Don't dab the water hash. Right?
No, well, obviously, right? No kidding. Well, I wasn't really too stressing it because, I mean, I'm a grower, so I have an RO machine from the rip, So me and my mom and my family, we've never really drank tap water from any town. We've always, because we've noticed it clogs up our coffee machine, and if it clogs up our coffee machine, it's fucking us up too.
Yeah.
So we've always used RO'd water and just filled up like big Hinkley Schmidt jugs, like the water coolers they have in offices, and we just fill those up and use it for everything, and we always have. So even when we moved up here, they weren't telling anybody, but the local people already knew, but we aren't local. So we could have been pretty messed up with it, but luckily we got bypassed, and just used our own RO'd water and never got affected. But there's a lot of people truly affected by it, man, and it's a shame, And did you know that we pay the highest cost for poison water in the nation?
Dude.
Yeah, our water cost is the highest in the nation for Flint. Flint has the highest water cost, and it's poisoned.
Why that is? Like, do you know, like, what I know I've read shit on it, but.
Do I know why? I do, actually. Like what happened and everything. What basically happened is there's old infrastructure, and we were once hooked on to the Detroit water system. Yeah. And what happened is they had a new city manager for Flint, okay? And this is the black dude that the guy had the senator had to ask the U.S. Marshals to go after to serve him a warrant. You guys know who I'm talking about on the news? Yeah, so they had to that was the city manager, and he decided it was going to be a great idea to hook onto the Flint River and get off of Detroit's water system. Well, they have a huge treatment plant for Detroit's water system. So before it goes out to everybody, it gets processed. Well, they'd never built a treatment plant here, or what they call like it's simple filtration, or like where the intake from the Flint River comes. There should have been a simple filtration system set up right there. But then on top of that, the old pipes, we have actual lead pipes that are in the ground that our water's getting pumped through. So and the city managers knew about this for years and years and years, and they refused to spend the money on fixing it. And then now with all the resurgence, there is actually some resurgence in Michigan thanks to the cannabis world, and what's happening, there's a lot of stuff in Detroit that's getting rebuilt, and Flint that's getting rebuilt, but there was a lot of economic just depression, man. I mean, one of the most economically depressed places I've ever seen in my life, and the people are desperate up here, man. So they just forever. Even the politicians are so desperate. They're corrupt, and they just spent the money where they thought was right, which was their pocket, and not to dig up some pipes and fix it. That's really the essential problem.
Yeah, so they
Awesome. Thanks,
also,
thanks, Brett. I appreciate that.
the main culprit is the chloramine that's treated in the water is helping strip the lead in the water to from the pipes.
Right. Yeah. You can. I mean, you can, even after the fact, like even if you have lead pipes, that are servicing, and then going into copper pipes that are servicing homes, you can fix that. You can still fix that. With a simple filtration system, just right before it goes into the copper pipes. But yeah, they refused to do that. Didn't want to do that, and now you see what's happening. So. We send out water testing kits, which is kind of cool because I don't know if this is if I should be doing this or not, but I test my RO water and send it off to a lab. So I wanted to see it's supposed to be for the house, but I did the house too, and I did my RO water too. So I just wanted to double check, make sure the stuff we were consuming was good, But yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, those little O pins up behind your head, but they're
What,
not.
up here?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my Star Wars collection, bro.
Oh shit. They look like you got the sativas on the bottom and the hybrids up there with the colors.
I got some. No, that's just my Star Wars figurines that are like still in the packaging. I'm a super Star Wars nerd.
Hybrids, indica.
But that would be pretty. That's a good idea. I see what you mean by it. Does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, any of you guys ever messed around with any Johnston genetics?
I haven't.
Anybody? No, I'll take that as a no. I just got a bunch of them in, and I am so impressed with this guy's like the pride he takes in his work. I'll be right back. I'll grab this packaging. You guys are gonna trip out on this stuff. I haven't seen anything like this in the industry yet. Like a lot of pride in his work. But hold on, I'm gonna go grab some of them real quick.
Okay. Did that make his volume go down when I did that, Haritsu?
I think so.
Okay, good, because I went into the control room and I can control everyone's volume now.
Yeah,
so there's a couple guys I wanted to turn up.
Definitely.
Like, I can't. Like, yeah, the dude that just stood up. What's his name? Terpene? I'm gonna turn him up a little bit. I don't know.
They're back.
Hey, Terpene. Purge.
So yeah, I met Johnny Johnston at the Michigan Cup. I was a vendor up there. I have like a small e-nail company and like a small little rosin.
Yeah, they do it. He's doing it like I forgot what it is. There's certain shit they number when it's like hat pins when it's a limited release.
Appreciate it, dog. Word up.
Thank you.
So you're gonna go pump for the I-502?
What?
You're gonna go pump for I-502?
I'm gonna go pump?
Are you?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
I was still gonna have the sweet leaf and do like premium shit with that, but I mean, I also want to try the stainless steel ball bearing, like in one motion Dewax. You know what I'm talking about? Where they have like it kind of looks like a Dewax tank, but it's way too small to hold like 6 pounds or 8 pounds of butane. You think it only hold 4?
Ball bearings?
Huh?
The busy bee ball bearing tech thing?
Yeah, well, actually, he got that from a company that he used to work for. That's where he got the CO2 thing too, for the CO2 jacket cooling, because he used to work for Eden Labs, and their little side sister company is ETS, and ETS is who started doing the ball bearing thing. And what they do is they have their material column, then they have another column it's the same, still 4 inches. It doesn't get wider, but it's got a dry ice sleeve around it. It's a 4-inch around tubing, and then it's about, I don't know, like 8 inches long. So they have their screen after the weed, and then they have all these ball bearings, and then another screen, and then they have their filters, and then they have their collection pot below that. And they just do their run really slow to where the butane is going through the weed, and then it comes in contact with all that surface area. So instead of chilling a solution that it's only coming in contact with just the, like when you sit and wait with the sweet leaf, how it's coming in contact with just the edges, versus it flowing over these cold ball bearings. And by the time, the whole idea is by the time it gets to the filter, everything's coagulated. So it's all one motion. And then someone was telling me also that where you guys are, that precision extractor, that their second column is supposedly a spiral,
Yeah, like a condensing coil. It condenses the liquid in a cold solution and then drops the things out. But the problem with that is you clog up the inlet or the outlet because with lipids, right? Did you hear me?
right.
Am I lagging?
Right.
Oh, I can't hear this other guy. He's talking for some reason.
No. Maybe in Oregon. I'm up here in Seattle, but yeah. How? The CD player. Oh, what? I thought that was a fucking Walkman. Yeah. Right. Oh, dude, that'd be sick. Do you know? Can you step on it?
Is it just me, or can anybody else not hear him?
Oh,
No, I had to rejoin.
oh, my bad. I got him tuned down too far. Everyone else could hear him though, right?
Yeah,
Can you guys hear me now?
I can.
Now I can.
Let's get
Now I hear you
thumbs
fine.
from some peoples.
Everything's good for me now. I'm not sure if it was just me or not.
Damn,
Alright,
it did
cool.
it for everyone but me.
So yeah,
I was trying to fuck with your audio. I might have turned you mute. Have you guys not been able to hear him for how long?
I've been able to hear him the whole
5
time.
minutes. It seemed like it was pretty quiet for a while, and then I realized you were in a conversation with him, so we must be missing out on something. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my god.
okay.
Okay.
Well, this is a rosin press, basically. Can you guys hear me now? Is my mic too loud for everybody?
I was reading your lips.
Okay, right on. Okay, so at any
how's
rate,
your volume?
I know that like pressing like some dry sift or some bubble hash or something like that would probably be a more better idea for something like this. But I've seen you squish your cinnamon and get great yields on just a small little hair straightener and whatever. But I got this unit, and then I've also got a pneumatic unit that's going to be coming in, man, and it's going to be super affordable, brother. Like I'm talking under $1,000, okay? Like so. So we'll do some talking and whatever, but I definitely want to send you one of these. I have one of these in packaging and stuff, and I want to see what you do with it. If I got a YouTube channel out there too. I don't know if you've ever looked me up or whatever, but you ever seen Dank Diaries? Any Dank Diary videos?
I'm not sure. I'll look you up now though.
Well, yeah, look up Dank Diaries and you'll find me, man. Yeah, you'll find me. It's Drew Boy. Everybody knows me as Drew Boy, So well, a lot of people do, at least. Most people. I'm pretty good friends with a lot of the guys at AN at Advanced.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I haven't seen it. I haven't been to a grow store in a while. That's probably why. But I remember because Remember when Ramo used to work with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They were on top of the world. They'd fly their banner at HipFest.
Right.
They'd have an airplane flying up above.
Hell yeah! I mean, I checked this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's up here. Let me do it this way.
Blue juice.
Yeah. The only thing I changed was on the little oil bottle. I put 710 instead of oil. Instead of the X's, I put 710 in it. So,
nice.
Yeah. What's up, babe? Oh yeah, you want a dab? Yeah, you can have
So
a
you're
dab.
not
Of
gonna
course
use
you can have a dab.
For like production? Right?
What?
You're not going with the sweet leaf for the production, or are you doing a sweet leaf version of something like that?
Oh, okay. Sweetly. Oh, yeah. I mean, I could do 3 runs a shift with it. So not too much production with it, but the Iron Fist is probably what's. I think we'll need more than one, but at least one.
Say that.
Hey,
what's up?
The Iron Fist is solid.
What's up?
Like solid, like works.
What do you say?
Well,
He's fine.
he's made
Oh yeah,
3
you
of
better
those.
just send him a text and
26.
be like, so where do you want me to pick her up at? Where are you gonna be at? Just ask him that, okay?
So he's made one of those already. The what do you call it?
Rosin press.
He's made the chilling tank where you put the balls in it. He's made a couple of those, and he made a comment saying, he said, what did he say? Sorry. He said, yeah, I'm not going to do a bunch of those because I don't want to infringe on Sweet Leaf or something, some joke. He made at least 3 of them. There's a post with a picture of them. Where's that? Oh, here, yeah. I don't know if he knows he's doing that. There we go. So, what's your thought about the ball bearings?
My thought on the ball bearings, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's gimmicky. I think that it's gimmicky because you have to give enough time for the solution to precipitate out the waxes. That nucleation has to occur. Something has to happen for something. It takes time, whether it's terpenes or the saturation level. I don't know. I just feel like the lipids are first going to fall out, and ball bearings are not like. I think if you're hitting it with a cold solvent and you're going slow, a set of filters, filter stacks, is going to be just as efficient. I think the ball bearings is nice for a dewaxing column, for like doing large batches and stalling it there for a while, because then you don't have a buildup of waxes on a filter that clogs it, and you have better flow. And I think that there could be better, better suited custom fab jobs that could do better than a bunch of stainless steel balls, which is really hard to clean. Not really that hard to clean.
You know what shit? You know the best thing for flow is these 1 micron filters. They're like called filter bags. And they're like a sock. Sweet Leaf sells them. But they start off really. They're 1 micron at the end, but they start off like way bigger than that, and it just pours right through it. You wouldn't imagine it to work for 1 micron. You'd imagine that shit to just be like slow and plugging up, but it actually flows through like there's not even a filter there. It's really weird.
Really? Are you talking about a sock filter?
Yeah. It looks like a sock.
It comes out like elongated, like filter.
Yeah. Yeah, like a condom, but bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one way. That's I think Sweet Leaf that kind of is doing that or something now. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I was thinking
because Grey Wolf told them about it.
I was thinking like, why not have like within the dewaxing chamber, right? Like say this was the dewaxing chamber. You had these inserts so that you'd have like a screen inside the dewaxing chamber, so that way when it's precipitating out, it's already being held on those inserts of the screen, so that way when you do the pull afterwards, your lipids are staying on that like those inserts that you can pull out, and then the filters are just getting a little bit left.
That might work. I could see some issues happening if there was a lot of lipids in something, because whenever I had filters at the bottom and it settled, it turned into like cement, and then I couldn't pull through.
Right. Well, I'm saying no filters on the bottom until.
No, I know. I'm just imagining one of them screens. I'm imagining one of them screens get completely covered with cement, but I guess it wouldn't if there's a bunch everywhere.
I'm talking like 5 to 10 different screens layered, inch to a few inches apart, depending on the size of the column.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't plug up, but that'd be cool.
I was
going to bitch to clean.
What up?
Said it'd be a bitch to clean.
It would be.
But dude, yeah, that's some good flow.
Ball bearings can easily do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool.
There's a lot of ball bearings.
Oh yeah, dude. Shit. Those sight glasses Busy Bee likes to use are scary to me.
I don't fuck with any sight glasses ever. I mean, not even on the lid, but I mean, lids are fine.
Yeah, the little 1-inch ones and half-inch ones.
I think I read a comment where it's like it's okay to have a glass window, just not a glass hallway.
A glass what? Hallway? Yeah.
In a closed loop form. I read somebody say that.
There are these sight glasses that are about as big. They're like 1-inch. They're the inline ones, but they're only 1 inch across, and they have really, really thick metal. I show them on the Sweet Leaf, they only have like little windows into them. So it's a 1-inch tube of boro,
right?
But it's so encased with stainless steel that you only have these like circles, these 4 circles around it to look in through them. Those are cool, but those fucking big ones, even 2-inch.
Sorry. Yeah, I want you guys talking about these kind of sight glasses here. I had one just blow on me the other day outside, and from Best Value Vax, and then I called the company, and they're like, "Oh, what are you cleaning it with? You must have been cleaning it with alcohol or some other solvent." I'm like, no, I cleaned it with Entane. You guys are talking about these, right?
Yeah, it's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Right. I used to run these stacked on top of each other because I just always got a better product running it like glass versus stainless steel for some reason. But that was before I was freezing my Entane, you know? So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, check this out. Have you seen these before? I like this. This is a pretty cool
That's
thing.
the coolest open blasting tube I've ever seen.
Check this out. It has a shower head. So when the you see when you butane
Oh,
hits,
dude, you got
yeah.
a sweet leaf head.
Now check this out. Go up there, grab that. I also got this too. This is a different head too.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the most ballin'. Dude, most people who open blast, they do not have something that fucking cool.
Well, like I said, this is what way I've been doing it forever, and you know, and you can even do this, you know, with the compound gauge on it and stuff and everything. And then on my chemical hose, I use an inline shut-off valve, so that way I can shut the hose off and unscrew it. It's like, you know what I mean? It
Right.
screws on hand tight like a quick connect, and then but it has a valve right there, so a second valve right here on top. So, you know, second valve, so I can shut the hose off and then, you know, take it off and then turn the tank off and then let whatever's in the hose out. And I'm good.
Dude. So you're blasting out of an intake tank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep.
Dude.
It threads right onto the NF. What do you call that? MP, NFTP, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
a kick or a fire fitting.
Yeah, it's about the most ridiculous open blast system I've ever seen. But you can close it off so it's closed, so you can do a soak time. You can put ice. I fill it up with my solvent. Then I put it in one of those old school deep freezers that don't have a fan that you have to like.
Freezer.
Yeah. So I put it in there for like 3 hours, and then I go take it back. It stays right around -4 to -7, and then I go outside and then let her out. And I also have. It's not connected right now, but I have a filter plate that goes in the bottom here that I put a lab filter in. So there's just a little 1.5-inch filter plate that goes right in between this section. So it's an awesome little.
Where'd you get them legs? Were those from Best Value Vax?
All of it's from Best Value Vax. I just put it all together. You can't I used to know. I still know him, but like you said, Best Value Vax is in Illinois, and I know Jason, the owner. So I went up to his shop. And we kind of just put it together like some Legos, you know. So there's nothing, you know, it's nothing on the website like that you can buy unless you pieced it all together, you know. You'd have to know what you know, you could piece it together, you know what's up, you know.
Drew.
That's what it looks like.
I feel like obligated to say that I would never put that in any freezer ever. I would totally think and rethink the tech. That would be me.
I'm trying to rethink my tech big time. I'm thinking about just going straight to stainless, doing the same tech that I'm doing now, and just freezing the Entane, freezing the material tube. See the thing, like, you know, with the freezer I'm using, there's no fan. So if Entane was to release, then it would be in and then my freezer's outside. It's sitting outside on my back porch. So, you know, if I would open it up, it would open up, and I would get blasted in the face with a bunch of butane. I get that, but it would still be outside at least, you know. But I understand it's not the best tech in the world, brother. Like I said, I came from Illinois, and I had to get by with what I could get by with. You know what I mean? And I'm freshly up here, just working on, you know, what I've been working on, you know, for about 6 months now. So I agree with you. I need to step my game up a little bit, and you know, it's coming along. But
what about if that tube wasn't the sight glasses and it was a stainless tube?
I have stainless.
Better about it, Haritsu?
I would never put. It's a pipe bomb. In my opinion, you're putting a bomb inside a freezer.
It's all closed part. It's It's like putting a column in your.
All right.
That's how I feel about it. Is that it's all if the parts are made well enough and it's not gonna, you know. I mean, I do redundant checks. I understand there's always chance for mistakes and there's always human error. I really do. I truly do. And I really understand the danger behind it, and I get it, and I don't want to be one of those guys on the 5 o'clock news that really hurts the movement, you know. And believe me, I will never be one of those guys. Knock on wood, you know. But I am trying to, you know, I try to implement as many safety factors as I can, and I think I do a pretty good job of it, you know. I've been Here's another thing, guys, you guys don't know about me. But I'm paralyzed. I'm in a wheelchair. So you guys saw me get up, but it's like difficult for me to get up. I got shot in 2010. Some rippers came into my house in Illinois and zip tied me up and plugged me about nine times. So I got like 50 cent street cred, you know. So I'm just kidding, but yeah, but no, they really did shoot me, and I got a spinal cord injury. So it's hard for me to run a bigger system. It's really difficult. It's really difficult for me to manage everything, and then me trying to teach somebody I really understand the mechanics and the properties of hydrocarbons, and especially of benzene. I really do understand it as best as a novice person can, you know, that just reads like the rest of us did, I assume, you know, that just read the actual literature that the college kids would have read, you know. I just didn't go to college for it, you know. So, but with that being said, yeah, it's hard. It's just harder for me to run it. It's no excuse for not having safety, you know, and things like that implemented and whatever. But with that, like I said, I think I have everything about as in check as I could. You know, the freezer's outside, you know what I mean, and all that, you know, and it's just, I don't know any other way other than getting, like, I was thinking about getting a PVC tube, like a 6-inch PVC. Tell me what you think about this. What's your name, by the way, brother?
I'm just Heretsu.
Heretsu, is that what you said?
Heretsu.
Okay, right on. I was thinking about just getting like a 6-inch, like Schedule 30 PVC, you know, pipe, and putting it around my column, and then just packing dry ice around it for the soak time. What do you think about that? And getting rid of the freezer, except for
if you do that, I would never use sight glass, because here's the deal.
Go ahead.
The deal with the sight glasses, and even if you're just doing the stainless steel with the seals, like with a closed loop, like you should be doing pressure checks, like pretty much like at least at the start of your day, you do a pressure check, see if it holds. You know, if there's any leaks or any failures, because every time you remove with tri-clamps in a system that you're disassembling and reassembling, there's always a chance for something to change that can cause a leak or something, a catastrophic failure. And so when you're dealing with something like one of those, and especially it's warm when or it can be somewhat cold, or you know, whatever, when you place it into the freezer, all those metal, the bolts that are tightened, they're going to loosen up because they're going to shrink, and that's all going to cause, you know, and also the seals are going to shrink. So a leak is very, very possible at those points. That I totally with the track.
Right. So in other words, it's like the theory in engineering called compounding. When you have one thing and you like a seal, and then you stack that on top of another one, and another one, the risk of failure is higher and higher, and then when you freeze it, everything retracts basically, and the retraction is hence the danger. Also the rubber seals, because this is what I think happened when my sight glass blew, is I think that when I've used it so many times, it's frozen and it literally cracked, like an actual
that's
crack.
Another thing with the sight glasses, the glass, what happens is over time you'll get microscopic temperature stress cracks, and you won't be able to even see it with your naked eye. The second that you apply pressure to it, when it starts warming up and there's pressure built up, that shit's likely to blow and shatter, crack, and blow everywhere.
So in other words, if I switch out the sight glasses for these, is a much better option, is what you're saying?
100%, especially, I mean, if you're doing what you're doing. I personally don't condone such a thing, you know, but I'm not hating or I'm just I feel obligated to say.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it. And believe me, I wasn't ignorant of the fact of what I was doing. I was fully aware of what I was doing, So, but yeah, I wish I could find a better way, and I think that would probably be a better way. I'm still gonna use the freezer to put the Entane tank in. That's perfectly okay, right? I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, anybody else just for an hour and then pull it out? I don't see
I
anything
was
wrong
gonna
with that.
ask. I was gonna ask him if he had a problem with that when I was thinking about the device, but I wasn't thinking about all the different pry clamps and shit. But I was gonna be like, well, what do you think about putting your tank in a freezer?
I personally, I have placed tanks in the freezer in days long since past fucking done that, because one time I arrived to a tank long ass time ago. Wasn't even where I'm at, the state where I'm at. All I know is that when I went to the tank, it was completely fucking empty. And all I know,
damn, that'd be scary.
Oh
there
yeah,
wasn't a fucking ounce in the tank, bro.
So it went somewhere. Yeah, yeah.
It was a store inside of it, yeah. So having that happen, I know
That
for a
scared the
fact
shit
that
out
I
of
would
you. Yeah,
never
that
place
is.
it in the freezer again. And so, and I understand, and I've seen tons of tanks leak from the tape joint, whatever the fucking sealant joint is, just from going too cold. It's just the nature of, when you're using master cool tanks, which most people do.
No.
Like if they're not running a stainless, you're gonna have a brass on carbon steel, and the brass is gonna fucking shrink, and you're gonna lose a seal if you're going too cold around the joints.
Which is the same joint as what's on the orange R600, right?
Right, you have a brass.
So okay, well, I know you're gonna scold me again for this, but I left one in the freezer for 48 hours one time, and blasted with it, and yeah, with my column wasn't full, but I left the tank in there and my column for 48 hours, and then went outside, and because it was summertime and I was losing heat too quick, so. But yeah, I haven't done that since, but that was because it scared the shit out of me. I didn't sleep the whole 48 hours. Like I was up, like I kept checking on it, going back to the freezer, open it up, trying to smell it, and like, now that was years ago too, but
Yeah, I try not to learn from my own mistakes. I try to learn from others, and then sometimes, like when it's a close call, which there's always inevitably going to be something that you can consider a close call. And then, like, you have to be able to, use...
remember it and learn from it.
Yeah, not let it happen ever again.
Right, and share the knowledge with me, and I appreciate it, because I'll be honest with you, with the tanks I was getting, I was pretty confident in the fact that at least an hour or two wasn't going to hurt anything at any time, and now I'm starting to double think that just because of what you told me and understanding now, but so if you had a stainless like LP tank, we're talking a different story, right?
Well, here's the problem with stainless tanks. No stainless tank on the market is rated for long-term storage. So whatever stainless tank you're using...
Well, definitely not 48 hours. I agree. I would agree with that for sure, but...
I mean, at the end of your day, you should be transferring it over to a DOT-approved tank, like whether it's carbon steel or something else. And so that's why I laugh at people. They're all like, trying to be righteous with their stainless steel tanks. Stainless steel tanks are awesome for your injection tank because you can control, there's no particulates that are going into it because you can inspect that you're starting solvent. But for returning solvent and solvent storage, like, there's no viable stainless steel option on the market that you can you can store your solvent in. Nothing will be approved. It doesn't exist unless you're going to spend $100,000+ for a custom fabricated tank for a lot of solvent. I mean, maybe a lot less than that. But turnkey, you're not going to find one available.
But right.
Damn, I didn't think of that. I store my shit in a stainless tank.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying that people don't do it. Everybody does it, but nobody knows.
Don't forget that though. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. No, I appreciate the knowledge, man. I really do. I really do appreciate the knowledge because honestly, here's one of my biggest issues is I was cut off and couldn't, being in Illinois for 10 years trying to learn how to do everything and not be able to actually sit down and talk with peers in a one-on-one situation. I mean, that I was at a major disadvantage, and you know what I'm saying as far as I'm concerned,
Oh yeah.
Safety procedures for the learning curve for tech everything. It seems like I was learning it second and third and fourth hand. But yeah, I think I've come a long way. So I think I've come a really long way. Like I said, if any of you
your
guys are ever
system
interested,
shows it.
check my channel out. Check out Dank Diaries, dude. I've come a really long way and in a little while. I like to think I'm a pretty good grower. So what's that, brother?
We were all there at one point.
Yeah.
It's all about learning.
For sure, for sure. Well, I had all the time in the world when I got shot, so I kind of soaked everything up. That's when I was fine. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know how to turn a computer on. I was kind of a run around, went to a lot of fish shows, ran around with a backpack, kind of full of mushroom kind of guy. So I didn't really do much of TVs or anything like that. And then after I got hurt and stuff, it really slowed me down. And then I started educating myself and whatever, and figured out how to make a living and still be stuck in a chair, So. Yeah, education. It works, even if it's self-education. Appreciate you doing the hangout, Bret, man. Really do, man. I'm gonna get off of here though, guys, and let get out about the night. It's getting 5 o'clock out here, so I definitely appreciate it. And Bret, let me know, brother. If you're on my YouTube channel or whatever on Dank Diaries, PM me, that your address or whatever. I'll shoot you out one of those rosin presses, brother.
Okay, Doug. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem, man. No problem at all. I'd like to see you use it and see. I'll be honest with you. I haven't smashed much flour with it. I've smashed some dry sift that I had, and it did really well. But shouldn't I be putting that stuff in like cheesecloth or something?
Your what?
Dry sift. Like if I'm in a rosin press, like
but not cheese. Not cheesecloth though. If you the drying screens for bubble.
Yeah.
If you use one of those, a 25 micron pressing screen or drying screen.
Gotcha, because I used, what did I use? I think I have it right here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's totally 100% cotton cheesecloth, and it just soaked into the cheesecloth.
Bret, what do you think of coffee filters? I know Farmer Joe Parker uses the coffee filters.
If you can do like him and keep them from blowing, yeah, but the more, that works the best with material that has almost zero contaminant, like what he's pressing. The more contaminant, the more that's going to blow.
I've used coffee filters with like 50% yielding stuff.
Did a coffee filter keeps like bursting to mix 50% bud with your keep or your dry sift.
Oh, where?
As well as condense it like a dragon. But like every time I put
mesh for hash, I love it. Mash for love it.
This is an interesting company. They make those same different sizes as the bubble bags, but instead of having to break down an extra bubble bag like a lot of people do, they'll chop them up and you can get a little pack of 20 of them for like $10. Now you got these little things for pressing. I just got one as a sample and a sticker. I'm not sure what mine is. I don't press that often. I was just fucking around. Like I got some polar ice tracks, some 3-star polar ice tracks. Pressed it out. I got only like 25% yield, but it was pretty fire. So just fucking around with it.
Nice. So you guys are having success with the coffee filters not blowing out?
No, that wasn't coffee filter. That was with one of these mesh bags. I haven't tried it.
You have to be super.
All right, guys. I gotta run. Peace. I'll talk to you guys later. Hopefully. All right. Word.
You gotta be careful when you're pressing on a coffee filter. It's all about like slowly applying the starting pressure, and then you can slam it. You just gotta get it squished, and then as hard as possible.
I was told, or like what I usually do is I'll double wrap it if it's just straight keef and there's no flour, or if it's straight just dry sift or hash. Double wrap it and then I'll take like a little piece of like vape, like Canthol or nickel wire, tie it off so it's really tight, and then press it with my hands, and then just like you said, like squish it. But definitely double wrap. Like it'll still soak through. It doesn't like all absorb in the coffee filter. It won't burst.
I think another key to the absorption thing is doing a big enough at a time, because you're always going to get a certain percentage of absorption. But if you're just doing like a gram at a time, then you're getting, you want to make that absorption just be totally full and just kind of flow past it. So you do enough at a time. At least I figured that's one way to get past it. Minimize your waste on it.
So are you going to have a rosin, some rosin concentrates for the I-502?
I'm thinking about it, but here's my idea for the press. And you guys can, and it's not my idea. I totally bit this from my friend, and I don't know if he's going to like me saying it. But, okay, a 20-ton, this is just so I have the option to go up that to that high of pressure. I don't know that I'll need to, but
that's why I'm doing it, just for the option.
Yeah, the 20-ton Harbor Freight hydraulic. What?
Might as well go all out. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's only $800.
Who needs that? Oh, but you're talking
20-ton hydraulic press. So $800 at Harbor Freight, you buy that, and then you buy these plates from these people called low temp plates, and they're like this big. And they I don't know why they call them low temp plates. They're not. You don't do them any low temp anymore. Well, you can run them. The display on the fucking PIE controller is bullshit. It says like 50 when the shit's like, and it's not Celsius. It's way hotter than 50 degrees Celsius. 50 degrees Celsius is like what, 110, 120? It ain't 110, maybe 105. It's not very much, but yeah, someone probably wrote it in the comments what it is, but anyhow, yeah, that's what I think I should do. So what do you guys think?
That's 100% what you should do.
Okay, cool, awesome. My friend has good results doing that too.
I mean, all right. Here's the problem with the 20-ton hydraulic pneumatic. Are you getting pneumatic?
No, it's a hydraulic.
Just so it's not air. It's just.
It's like hydraulic fluid.
Okay. Are you cranking it by hand?
I think you pump it by hand. I can't remember because I was really stoned. But I think either pumped it by hand because he's had several different things. He's had a pneumatic where it ran on a compressor, but this last thing that he got was the big ass press. It's like a stand. It's got the bolt things.
The Harbor Freight one?
The Harbor Freight one, yeah.
I'd just be careful about getting Harbor Freight because from what I've been reading is that they're very inaccurate on the stroke and with the press, and also as like if they're wobbly, they're not. The welds are really shitty, and like one guy had one break the weld on a press and like nearly take his head off.
Whoa! Well, we'll have insurance. No.
This ain't no backroom deal.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy just got the Rosin Technologies one. The problem with that is like it's only a 1 ton, and you're limited to just those size plates. You can't upsize the plates.
Oh yeah, the Rosin Technologies ones. Okay, wait, you got the plates, and did he put them on a Harbor press, or is it the one that it's got that? Are you talking about the one that above the top part that comes down? It's got like a round thing.
Yeah, the one you hit 2 buttons on the side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Damn, dude, I'm laughing. A lot of people got these hard presses, and everyone preaches by them. And the dude, I love his Bubble Hash who sells those, but they're fucking a ton, a 1 ton on a 2x5 plate.
Right.
That's 200 psi.
It's terrible.
Dude, I totally don't get it.
That's why, like, you're limited with that small plate on the rosin technologies with the one time, because you go any larger, you're severely ruining your yield with less pressure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the 20-ton is what's up, because then you can at least have like different size plates for different running amounts and different like qualities and stuff.
Do you have a rosin machine? Do you run pretty often, Hair?
What?
Does Hair run? Do you run rosin? I'm not really familiar with you until today.
Aside from Hairbrainer and like the first version and like second version, the D-nail rosin press, no, I don't run rosin, but I do it for the personal heads on like the D-nail press. But I hate the fucking D-nail press. I don't like D-nail as a company. I don't rep their shit, and we're building a 20-ton in the midst, which should have it done, and by the end of the month, March rather.
For weed raw?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We got a bubble machine, 20-gallon bubble machine sitting in there.
Keep them bags clean, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. I was thinking about just
your
cutting
alcohol
them
off,
up,
but you don't fail for alcohol.
I was thinking about just cutting them up, you know?
Yeah.
Cut up 73 for you. Oh shit, is that Frankenstein?
Ooh, that's pretty. That is.
This is cement.
Damn.
I got you. This is gonna fucking break down.
I just broke down my last slab yesterday.
I'm a finger.
I'm slabless right now.
There you go, Bret.
Oh shit! That's a similar looking one. What's that?
Oh, let me see. I have it on my computer. Oh wait, I can't see
That
on
looks
my
like
phone.
Twin Brothers with Brett's slab.
Wait, where'd you go? I don't see. Oh, now I see it. Oh, damn.
Similar.
That's
right?
gold.
Some trim run grapefruit kush.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, Moore's pulling out the
You know what this one is?
What is that one?
Starfighter Sherbet.
Oh man, what do you think of sherbet? You like that strain, Sunset Sherbet?
It's cool. I like it more.
What is that? What was that?
It's okay. It's cool. I buy it.
It's okay. It's cool. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it lives up to the name of sherbet.
Oh, dude. It's annoying because rich people call that shit sherbet.
It's actually sherbet.
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 The T is silent.
Yeah.
Dude. The Cookie Fam says if it doesn't have an R in it, then it's not the right genetic. So if you have to write it with an R to change the DNA.
Oh, okay. I'll
You
make
said
sure.
that was your last video, right? I remember you saying that. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my hood breeding style. And then I'm going to call strains F1 instead of using it like everyone else so I can confuse motherfuckers. I got this new strain called Feminized.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It's called Feminized Auto Flower.
Oh.
And it doesn't auto flower and it's not feminized.
I have better. I have a F1 feminized.
F1. Oh my god.
Oh, a feminized F1 feminized.
That's an oxymoron.
I crossed my male feminized F1.
Dude, I had to shut my data off. I got a 20 gigabyte plan. I'm already at 19.5.
Jesus.
Guess what? My plan started on the 24th. So
Fuck.
I know 8 days I used almost 20 gigabytes, and it's because it keeps jumping off my internet and going over to Wi-Fi
Yeah.
or going over to 4G.
My old plan had that shit, and it forced me to fucking like really like double pay my bill in order to get a reset of my data, and then I just said fuck it and got a different fucking service.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, do you have one with unlimited data now?
Yeah. I was like, I'm done with this shit. You're gonna fucking limit me after 5 gigs? Like, are you kidding me? Fuck you. I'm done. I ain't paying. I might as well pay double for a better service. And like, fuck.
Oh no, the service I have. Here's what it is. I pay for up to 20. After 20, I still keep getting it at the same speed, but it's $15 a gig overage.
Oh
This
my god.
Verizon. Yeah. So right now, dude, I pay about $100 for them 20 gigs.
Dude, my shit was in the worst position possible. Like, they forced me to buy another month of service half a month early because I was driving from Colorado to California, and I was like in the middle of fucking Vegas. I was dead tired. I was like, I just need to get a hotel room and pass out. I'm trying to book a hotel room on my phone with no fucking internet because the shit's like fucking slower than who knows what. I was so fucking pissed. It took me like 2 hours to book the hotel room.
Oh no. Yeah, I hate that. Up at the high point, we don't get a good signal. But there's a Wi-Fi up there, but all the buildings are metal. So it don't go through, the Wi-Fi don't go like out of the buildings.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Cheers. Have you tried gelato?
Yeah, man. The first time I got it, it had bud rot in it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I paid $60 for that eighth, too.
What? Rex?
Dude. The Cookie Fam has a shop in Washington, and they brought the $20 gram of flour and the $60 eighths to Washington.
I believe it 100%.
Dude, but now they don't have any more $20 grams. They have them at 15, but they have most of their shits at 15. But the most exclusive shit, the Cookie Fam certified shit, all of that costs for an eighth of it is 55. But there's other shit like the Real OG Kush Story that's 15. An eighth of it's 45.
It's
It's not 55 for an eighth. That's 15. I think it's 50. It's whatever. It's like almost like buying 3.5 grams. It's like that much at $15 a gram. That's how much the eighth is. But yeah, you get a better deal on some of the other strains. Get both, but on the Cookie Fam strains, they're the same price all the way up.
Yeah. Fucking sending me whack ass texts. I don't even know who this person is. They go,
Who?
something about church. Definitely not with me.
Oh, on your Instagram?
Text message. Hey, Baron, you're nice. Are you going to church today? I went to Hash Church.
Hey, I wonder if like in the broadcast if it'll end this. I don't think so. Let me see. If it does, what I'll do is I'll bring it back up and I'll put the link in my description, but I won't make a post. So if this, not my description, but my my Instagram bio where you guys got the link for this, if it goes away when I click stop broadcast, but I don't know. I don't think it'll go away because I think I've done this before. So let's see. But all you guys that are watching on YouTube, it's over.